huge time to miss. Just the speed of the game, I think, can take you a while to get used to and get back up to. One, you're coming off injuries, so your body's probably not the same it was. But two, just probably your mind, just to the sharpness, getting that back into it. So it's a challenge for him, but I mean, it's great to see him back out there. He's obviously worked hard to force his way in, and he's earned his spot. So, look forward to see him out there. Do they give him Buddy?
Yeah.
That's a big ask.
Well, I wonder. They probably do. And you're talking about a guy that played in the 2012 Grand Final also. We haven't really talked about Franklin playing for Hawthorn. Teddy Richards having injections every second against him to try and get through that game. But, it'll be interesting to see how he goes. It's probably his head more than anything else he'd be worried about, the being out so long and his impact. But key position defenders.
Yeah.
Come on, it's pretty easy to play, isn't it, Chase?
See ball, punch ball.
Give us your final couple of questions. Your focus areas on today. Who wins and why? What you want to see, I guess, from a Gold Coast point of view to turn around their fortunes and where your focus is today.
Just from Gold Coast, it's a connection point of view, forward half, and composure leaving the stoppage. And if they get that right, they're going to push the Swans. I wouldn't be surprised if they win the game. They've played good enough football to win games this year, and they've been competitive in games. You're looking for an animal that's been beaten in the Swans in the way they thought, we're a top 4 team, and they get beaten pretty bad last week against the Lions. They need to start well, the Swans. If they start well, I think they'll win the game. If they don't, and the longer the Suns are in it, they'll have a chance to win it also.
Yeah, I think the key for the Suns, obviously mid get it forward and get some shots on goal, but when you look at the Swans forward line here, Heaney, very dangerous. Franklin obviously had a great game last week in the loss and was very dangerous. Goulden is a really good goal kicking, racking up stats type player. If they can get plenty of footy and they're getting the ball in their hands, Swans are going to be extremely hard to beat. So Gold Coast need to contain, I think, Heaney, Franklin and Goulden is the keys.
Yeah, and how are they going to do that? It's probably obviously trying to get the ball in the forward half.
Keep it in the forward half.
Keep it in the forward half, and actually, if the connection's not working, you're going to wear down the opposition, and that's been an issue for Gold Coast. They come out of stoppage and haven't been clear cut with the connection between their mids and the defenders and their forwards.
Yep.
So now you just got to get it in, try and wear down the opposition defenders, and hope that you just get enough opportunities or free kicks in your forward 50 and put some tackling pressure on to turn the ball over there and get some goals that way. So they've got some lively types. I'm really looking forward to Rankin. I love watching this guy, and he's a player that you come to football to watch. He's excitement. You don't know what he's going to do, what's going to happen to balls around. And Ainsworth's playing really good football from him and has been very good with his score assists. And I'm quite excited. You're obviously looking at Raul and how can he expand his game? Can he expand his game to a bit more composure, winning that clear hard ball inside? But can he part of that group that needs to be a bit more polished around the ball?
Let's head boundary side. Emma Simpkin there for us today. Good afternoon, Emma.
Good afternoon. The SCG bathed in sunshine, a light breeze. It's quite cool conditions for this time of the year, but the ground looking a little tired. It's had a lot of action on it of late, but it should be in good condition, and the stage is set for a great contest.
Yeah, Ryan Clark and Darcy McPherson, our subs here for the Swans and the Suns. Final thoughts, Sato, your tip? Who do you like?
I think the Swans here at home will cash in.
Tigers, Swans?
Yeah, I think the Gold Coast have had a good record against them previously against the Swans. So Swans just.
Saturday afternoon, here we go on Grandstand AFL. Here's Daniel Garb.
Swans and the Suns on a beautiful Saturday, in fact, at the SCG. A couple of the best ruckmen in the comp form-wise go at it. It's won by Gold Coast, though, through Holman, who puts it on his boot quickly, goes inside 50. Picked up by Lukosius. He can snap on goal. It's just drawn a little bit too much. Behind, though, inside the first 20 seconds for Gold Coast, off at inside 50.
Example of just getting the ball forward. That's all it is. Get it in and put them under pressure.
And we spoke about Rankin as a really quality player that can excite. And I think Lukosius is one of those as well for Gold Coast.
Jake Lloyd to kick out here for the home side. Thumps it long beyond offensively. Heaney the running start here. Weller comes across. Heaney with arm over the shoulder to give away the free kick. And Lockie Weller will have it from just forward of the wing at left half forward. So the Suns trying to make the most of it inside their forward half. Up it goes inside 50. Another leap there from Holman. Dispossessed there is Ainsworth, and the tackler is rewarded. Great work it was coming back here for Lloyd. We'll have it 35 out from defensive goal.
Lloyd to left half back as Nick Blakey, who tells the forwards to get on their bike. Sends it to half forward now, looking for Franklin. Well spoiled by Sam Collins, who has the job on him. Ellis went without it. Logan McDonald back in the team, tracks back to pick it up, and now Blakey is caught by Lukosius and caught holding the ball on the wing.
There's the tackle pressure you have to tie.
Yeah. And you like to see guys like Lukosius doing a great ball use too inside.
It's inboard for Ballard now. They can get some run going, the Gold Coast Suns. It's wide, a little too wide for Jared Witts, and it just pitches inside the boundary line. Bounces out of play, 55 around from Gold Coast goal at the Paddington end.
Starting to look to hit a bit of targets. I reckon in the past couple of weeks they would have just bombed that in, Gold Coast. So clearly they're working on the connection here. Even though it was wide, they're trying to maintain the ball. And that goal zone, it's called about 60, 70 yards from goal, trying to get a possession.
Couple minutes played. The Suns with the early behind. Laddams and Witts go at it. Ballard had a path cleared for him. Warner goes a big fend on Ballard. Shares it back here to Mills through traffic. Awkward kick though. Ellis bounced off his chest. Parker gets it back here for the Swans. Thumps it up the line, but it's marked there on the wing by Powell. It was touched off the boot and play on the outer logo. We'll ball it up.
We spoke about Thompson. He's got the matchup on McDonald to start the game, and Collins has Franklin.
Miller and Mills, a couple of the biggest ball winners in the competition, side by side at the stoppage. Ellis just slams it on the boot. It was very high up in the air, doesn't travel too far, and it's punched over for another boundary throw in. On the outer wing, the Suns one behind. Sydney yet to score. We've gone 2.5 minutes in the first quarter here at the SCG.
And they got the two keys deep at Gold Coast, that is, and Chow and Casball deep, so they're trying to pull them away from the target going forward, I feel.
Back in it comes on the eastern wing. Kick hurried forward here by the Suns. Up goes Paddy McCartan. Slipping a tackle down there was Holman. Hand pass out wide. They go inside 50. It's a neat looking ball here for Ainsworth. He marks in the pocket, 40 out. He was fed that time by Lukosius by foot. So Ainsworth here will go back here for the set shot on a tough angle.
He's been good. He's been very good the last couple of weeks, so I wouldn't put it past him.
8 goals, 8 assists so far for the year, Ben Ainsworth. He'll cross the boundary line to kick in the right forward pocket. Connecting from 45 metres out, sets it up here to the goal line. Up in front, Paddy McCartan. Red and white jumpers in defence. Mills swoops through, takes it over the boundary line. They want deliberate. We'll throw it back in, right alongside that right behind post. Deep in attack for the Gold Coast Suns, who lead with just the one behind inside the opening 4 minutes.
All right, so Witts and Laddams, big boundary throw in inside 50 for the Suns. Can they put some more pressure on? They've started this game nicely, the SCG. It's picked up by Brandon Ellis. Now Fiorini inside 50. Rao tries to tap it to his advantage. He does so, but it's over for another boundary throw-in.
Question for you, Todd. If you're within range, instead of a layup, do you have the shot? I understand if you're out of range, just lay it up. But Ainsworth, you think you should have that shot?
Yeah,
back yourself in?
100%. And early in the game like that, you've got nothing to lose by going for it. If you kick it out in the full, so be it. If you kick a point, so be it. You're set up and the ball's in your front half.
Witts palms it down to Miller. Fiorini got a quick kick, gathered by Goulden. It didn't go 15. He's wrapped up well by David Swallow, the veteran. And the Suns doing what they've done well so far this season, Ty, as you pointed out.
Keep it
pausing forward 50 stoppages.
Swallow, kick squeezed out here inside 50. Casbolt gives the hand pass off. Weller running by, was run down from behind by Haywood, and it just bobbles toward the goal line. They made a meal of that, the Gold Coast Suns. Another behind. Didn't hear the footsteps that time, did Lockie Weller. They've got 2 behinds. The Swans hit the score, 5-1 opening term.
And finally the Swans can go. Blakey's quick kick finds Warner, looks for Papley inside 50, couldn't quite mark. Papley hits the turf, tries to gather. Well done by Rory Thompson in his first game back in 4 years to gather that one. To Ballard, and now Collins, and out to Ellis, and the Suns recover.
Ellis comes up the outer side. Witts marks in space at right half back. Still a few fans filing in. It was a low crowd early on this Saturday afternoon. Luke Miller had 36 touches last week, averaging 30 on the year. Kicks up the eastern wing. One-on-one there. Mills in the contest with Ainsworth. Slapped toward the boundary line. Gold Coast jumpers around it here. It comes to Ellis. Walks his way around Ronk. Floats a hand pass in here for Swallow. Lays it off here for Rowell from the outer wing. Spears the pass inside 50 and finds the chest of Holman. And Holman can mark 40 out slightly.
In early, but certainly Gold Coast have, and I thought that mistake by Weller was almost wrapped their season up. They had that many inside 50s in the first 5 minutes and haven't been able to convert.
Nick Holman, a couple of goals last week against the Pies. He lays it here from 40 out all the way there. It's offline to the left-hand side. So 3 behinds, opportunities going begging early here for the Gold Coast Suns. 6.5 minutes played.
it's the short hit up going forward. Tigers working for the Suns at the moment.
And certainly against intercept defenders.
Yep.
You know, when you're looking at obviously the McCartans intercept marks.
So the Suns have started very well at the SCG, but haven't quite taken advantage. 3 behinds to them, and slow starts, as we said in the pre-game, have plagued Sydney's season so far. Maybe another sign of that today as they work it up to the wing. They've still got plenty of time to recover in this first quarter. Quick kick to half forward. Heaney is second to this ball. Will Powell leads him to it and gathers it nicely. Shows some composure at half back. Handball inboard to Swallow. He goes to centre half back and finds Brandon Ellis, who's been busy early. Switches it out wide to Collins, and now they've got an overlap.
Collins can find space on the outer side. Going up, taking a strong grab, Ainsworth. Again, he's had a tight watch this time from Braden Campbell. And he takes the juggling mark on the outer wing.
It's good footy. They're stretching the SCG in a wide ground, and they're stretching and making the Swans defend them.
They can wheel and go here through Lukosius, up inside forward 50, 2-on-2. Witts crashes the pack at the drop. Rail over around the football. Parker goes to it here for the Swans. Bumps a hand pass out. McInerney can go beyond defensive 50, out to the eastern wing.
And Buddy Franklin's given away a free kick. He tried to work his man Collins under the ball, but he did so illegally according to the umpire. So the Suns win it back. Collins can just poke it over the top to find Brandon Ellis, who's been very busy on that outer wing. He's at right half forward. Goes inboard and finds his co-captain in Tuke Miller.
There's these hit-ups that they're using that goal zone, about 60, 70 yard. It gives an opportunity to go deeper to the top of the 50.
Miller finds Fiorini, plays on quickly, looking for Witts in the forward pocket. Almost fell the way of Marby or Chol, and Pete Latham sees it over for another boundary throw in inside 50 for Gold Coast, who have 3 behinds to their name. Sydney yet to score here at the SCG. We've gone 8 minutes.
Inside 50, 6-1 inside the opening 8 minutes. In the shadows of the Bradman stand, back in it comes, deep in attack for the Suns. Rail through traffic, wrapped up, strong tackle. Great work it was from Paddy McCartan, and the umpire will ball it up.
It's dominating possession too at the moment, the Suns. It's 42 disposals to 19, all the play in their front half.
Witts and Laddam's tussle. Out the back, Lockie Weller snaps, kicks on by Mills, falls to Hayward, hand pass.
Gone.
He's wrapped up. Weller, great follow-up tackle. And it's a Suns ball, 35 out directly in front.
Opportunity to make amends for the one he probably should have kicked a little bit earlier when he had 4 hours to get the ball onto the boot.
I think he was trying to be unselfish, wasn't he? He was looking to come the full back to come forward and ramp and pop it over the top of the handball. But this is his third shot at goal because the last one was smothered about 30 seconds ago. So
you do have to take these opportunities.
Oh, you have to nail
all the
this.
play, you've got to make the most of it.
Still waiting for a goal here. First look here from Lockie Weller, the Gold Coast Suns. They're 3 behinds. This for the first major of the afternoon. Steady approach from 40 and straight over the goal umpire's hat. Lockie Weller does have the first goal of the afternoon here at the SCG. The Suns are 1-3-9. The Swans yet to score through the opening 10 minutes here on ABC Sport. This is Grandstand AFL.
A really good start. Their pressure's been good. They're winning the ball around the stop, certainly around the midfield. I think their backs are positioning well. So when the Swans are bringing the ball out of defensive 50, their backs are in good position to win that footy. Obviously, Collins was in good position against Franklin. Earned the free kick. It sends them back forward again. They have been good at it for the majority of the year, and it's working for them again so far. So it's great to get some reward there with Weller kicking that goal. They deserve this little lead at the moment, very early.
they're playing the footy the right way.
Yep.
And they're playing it the way it's been played by Richmond, really, a couple of years ago, Melbourne. That front half, they just don't have the quality, obviously, to take the opportunities. But they're playing it the right way, and these opportunities will fall from throughout the year. Throughout the game, you think, today.
And let's not forget one of their star midfielders, a late out in Noah Anderson. The likes of Brandon Ellis with 7 disposals early in this game, picking up the slack here at the SCG. There's been a free kick. It'll go the way of the Swans and Laddams. Plays on quickly for Papley, who sends Sydney inside 50. Franklin's there, and he's taken the mark. Finally, a reason for the Swans fans to cheer here at the SCG in this first quarter. Buddy's got it. He'll kick from 25 metres out in a slight angle.
It's a height thing, isn't it? You know, he's 194, Collins, and that's if you can kick the ball on Buddy's head instead of him leading. You know, you're going to get more opportunities 1v1. Buddy's only 200 centimetres, 199, so there's a clear height difference between the two. Collins will try and get off him and spoil, but in that occasion, one-on-one, you don't get a whole lot of opportunities like that. Franklin's too tall.
Buddy Franklin coming off 6 straight last week against Brisbane. He's got his first of the day. So the Sydney Swans are on the board. 1 straight 6. Gold Coast 139.
Could you give him another 9 year? Benjamin Button, Benjamin Franklin.
He kicked 4 goals last week in about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he can do that. Like he's looking as lean and as free. Now, there's a couple of ground balls probably against Hawthorn where he wasn't looking, but he's never been the best. He's a big man.
Well, it goes two ways. He's missed a lot of footy the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So it either means you're not going to come back from it, or it's a little freshen up. And I think for him, it looks like it's been a freshen up that maybe he's going to get him an extra couple of years.
Around the grounds at the MCG, midway through the opening term there, Richmond 1-8, Collingwood just the 2 behinds. So similar kind of scoreline developing there. We'll keep you across what's happening there. Of course, the Giants and Geelong coming up next at Manuka.
Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty's back for the Tigers. 1 goal apiece here. Gold Coast by 3 points. Laddams and Witts back in the middle. Clean bounce. Witts crashes into Laddams. Wins it outside here. McInerney wrapped up on the wing by Witts. Robertham's hand pass chopped off. The Swans can go forward though. Laddams shanks the kick half forward. It missed Hayward. Franklin out to meet the football now. Back to McInerney. Goes through traffic. Hand pass inside 50. Warner now. Flying shot from 45. All the way there. Chad Warner offline to the right-hand side. And it's 1-1-7 the Swans. The Gold Coast Suns are 1-3-9. 13 gone in the opening term.
Done Justin McInerney a couple of times. A ground ball on the wing there coming through, and that ground ball there at half forward. He's been fantastic this season for the Swans.
So the Swans have settled a bit here in the first quarter after a slow start. Lemons brings it back in for Gold Coast. Well won by Chol on the outer side. And now Isaac Rankin can get going. His first touch of the afternoon shows what he's all about with his excitement. He's got Malcolm Rosas inside 50. He's got a man over the back in Casbolt. Brilliant defending from Tom McCartan. He was nowhere near that contest. Got back involved in the goal square and spoiled Casbolt with it looked like a certain Suns goal.
Yeah, well called, Garby. He looked like he was actually through, and all he'd do is put his leg out. Really, his knee out. Casbolt, you think to stop Tommy McCartan with great effort, never giving up in it.
Gold Coast by 2. 13.5 played the opening term. Swallow tries to clear a path for himself. The hand pass fired out from Blakey, and now Kennedy's kick partly smothered. A little forward here for Ballard. The mark somehow paid. Thought it was touched off the boot, but Ballard does have the footy here at half forward. 52 out for the Suns.
Get really good positioning from the Suns defenders.
Yeah.
Ballard just getting onside and really good spot. If the quick kick did come out, he was first to move, which helped him take the mark.
Ballard just pops it inside forward 50, and Miller presents for him. 40 out, slightly left of centre.
Like I said, Ballard's only kicked 1 goal ever in his career, so
Well, is Miller a huge goal kicker from about 45? I think they gained 1 metre and a 2-degree angle on that kick.
Just the 4 goals for Tuke Miller this year. Plenty of touches, though.
it shows their intention for mine, that they're looking for that lower their eyes going forward.
He lays into it here from just inside 50. Tuke Miller to the Paddington end, and it is all the way there. The Suns have their second. 2-3-15. The Sydney Swans are 1-1-7. 14.5 played the opening quarter. This is Grandstand AFL.
Reversed commentary curse. Jace, there's no chance of kicking it. It's
I didn't quite say that.
Yeah, no, you didn't. You asked how many goals has he kicked from outside 50, more or less. But
one now.
It's like I just said in call there. It's more the intention of the way they want to move the ball forward. Ballard, obviously, they clearly worked on lowering their eyes from 70, 80 out to actually try and hit some targets and get that connection going forward instead of bombing it, getting intercept marks against the defensive team that love to intercept marks.
What it does too is now probably the Swans defenders get a little bit tighter and closer and a bit sharper, which might allow that opportunity to kick longer and deeper while the Swans defenders are playing a bit more closer to their man.
Big captain's goal from Tuke Miller here at the SCG. The Suns 2-3-15. The Swans 1-1-7. Marbia Chol's in the ruck now, but he's not required to do any ruck work after a bounce that went well and truly awry. Hayden McLean in there as well for the Swans. So the secondary ruckman into the action. Big leap by Chol down to Tuke Miller. He's wrapped up well by Mills. Gets the handball free though to Fiorini, who snaps it to centre half forward. Ainsworth went up high. It's swooped on by Rankin with his right boot. Goes out to Brandon Ellis, and he's marked it inside 50. Another chance for the Suns to have a shot at goal. Brandon Ellis will be up to 8 disposals after this. He'll kick from about 45 metres out in a very slight angle.
Good composure again. We're talking about he could have blazed to the top of the square and showed some composure, as we know Rankin has. You'd want to be on here as a midfielder or as a forward. He's probably going to have a shot, Ellis, but it's just showing how lively they are around the ball, Gold Coast.
Brandon Ellis, the former Tiger, in his motion now, strikes it cleanly. It's just drawing a little bit too much and is through for a behind. So the Suns are 2-4-16. The Sydney Swans 1-1-7. 16 minutes gone here in the first quarter at the SCG.
You can tell from Tiger talking about their ball use and they're looking to hit those targets. 16 marks to 4 really does highlight what they're trying to do with the footy.
Lloyd brings it wide here for Florent.
And the inside 50 mark, Spriggy's be huge too.
Contest on the wing. Kennedy beaten here, and now lays a follow-up tackle on Alex Davies, the late in for the Suns. Ball in dispute, coming in hard. Heaney. It's on the deck now. Florent wrapped up with it. The umpire's going to say holding the ball here. He made no attempt. The
ball's actually behind Oliver Florent on his back there. That's incredible.
Fiorini was in there nice and quick, and the umpire, I think, decided he needed a free kick. So he'll go the Suns' way, just forward of halfway. Fiorini pops it up inside 40. Casbolt running start. Cholin from the side as well. At the drop. Rampy there in defence. Overran the football. Swatted away here. Back for McLean. Rankin for the Suns. Almost comes up with it. Hand pass up the line from Tom McCartan. Runs out of space. Will throw it back in. Deep in the left forward pocket. At the Suns' attacking end, it's they who lead by 9 points in the opening 17 minutes.
What's inside 50, can't?
9-3 in favour of the Suns.
It's going to stay in here for a couple of minutes. It's either going to come over to centre bounce or a free kick.
Chol's got front position, palms it down to Fiorini. Wins it back, Marbia Chol. Ainsworth tried to get the quick handball inside 50. It falls the way of Fiorini now, who snaps on his left, but it's across the face. For another behind to Gold Coast, who have started ever so well here at the SCG. They are 2-5-17. The Swans 1-1-7.
We'll worry about Anderson not playing and what the hole it might leave for Gold Coast. But Fiorini, Alice, and of course Miller, who turns up every week. They've been really good so far for the Suns in the midfield.
Jake Lloyd again takes his time to assess the kick-out options. Runs into the left-back pocket. Opts to go by hand. Out wide here for Paddy McCartan. Drives it long beyond defensive 50. 2-on-2 on the wing. Spoil in there from Powell. The umpire's called a chopping of the arms. Will go the way of the Swans and Logan McDonald. Nice to see he and Paddy McCartan back in after those head knocks a couple of weeks ago. Warner lays off the hand pass. McInerney running by. Angled kick towards half forward now. Out the back, Miller here for the Suns. He goes a centering ball inside defensive 50. And finds the marking target down there in Butterick. They come beyond defensive 50 now.
Lemons through the middle of the SCG finds Malcolm Roses, who marks overhead. Goes short, looks for Miller. That's a bad turnover. Well done by Rowbottom. He spotted it and he cut in front of Tuke Miller to win it back for the Swans on the wing. Goes wide to McCartan, who goes up to half forward and finds Buddy Franklin, who has Sydney's goal.
Got to look lower. They've got extras back here at Gold Coast.
Franklin with a low ball to half forward looking for Goulden. Couldn't mark. Picked up well by Ben Ronk though, who centres it at centre half forward and finds his target in Hayden McLean. He's about 70 metres out. So he goes wider and finds Jake Lloyd up from half back. Lloyd has Blakey running around him. He chooses to use that option. Blakey just pops it up into the pocket. It's off hands and out for a boundary throw in inside 50 for Sydney.
Yeah, on that entry, there was 17 Gold Coast players inside defensive 50.
Shows a walk rate, without the ball, obviously, they're clearly working harder than Sydney right now. As we could see it early in the quarter, the Swans midfield group certainly weren't working hard enough. And in that occasion, wasn't the forwards weren't getting back in the forward 50 for Sydney.
Umpire tosses it back in. Chol and McLean in the ruck. Rao does the work here, tackled by Heaney, dispossessed. Powell goes in hard as well. Heaney comes up with it now, tumbles it toward the goal line. Now it's taken a nice little bounce. It's across the face. Collins was closing fast. May have just gone the other side of the goalpost for a minor score. The Swans 1-2-8, trailing Gold Coast to a 2-5-17, about to hit time on here in the opening quarter.
And it's young Connor Butterick, just his third game for the season, to bring the ball in for Gold Coast. It's a low ball. It's given the Sydney Swans forwards a chance. Warner had front position, and in fact he's won a free kick for high contact, so wasn't necessarily the best exit out of defence for Gold Coast. And now Warner can find a teammate in Isaac Heaney, who's marked it on his chest, and he'll kick from just inside 50.
Not sure if Butterick could kick out again. But this is always a concern. Gold Coast had so many opportunities, only 2 goals, 5. The Swans aren't going to need a lot of opportunities inside 50 to be getting really good shots on goal. Heaney again having another shot. They've already kicked 1-2. This potentially goes 2-2. And, the game's even again, even though Gold Coast have had all the play and all the inside 50s.
So the superstar that is Isaac Heaney strikes it from on the paint. It's fading across the face of goal and through for a behind. So The Sydney Swans are 1-3-9. Gold Coast still with the lead here in the first quarter. They are 2-5-17. It's an 8-point margin.
It's a collective 3 goals, 8 for those playing at home. Inside the opening 20 minutes or so. Kick out as a straight one here. It comes to Ballard. Not far up the corridor. Angled ball now for Collins. Still on the right back pocket. Lays it off by hand. Lemons can go beyond defensive 50. Only just at the bootstraps here of Goulden. Hand pass out into space. Trapped by Butterick. Tackled by Franklin. Dispossessed. Here comes on here for the Swans. Robert now at goal side. No one between he and the goals. 40 out. It's away to the right hand side. 1 goal, 4 now for the Sydney Swans. The Suns are 2-5. 22 gone in the opening term.
Gold Coast have turned it over in their last 2 kick-ins from their defensive goal square.
You think they go long here, just trying to get the ball out of their area?
It was Butterick, then Lemons, so they've given Jai Farah the responsibility now, and he does just that, Ty. He goes long to try and alleviate some pressure, a chance for Rankin to gather. He wraps up McInerney in a tackle, who won it back. Brandon Ellis kept it in for Gold Coast, though. Puts a banana on his boot out to the wing, a banana-style kick, that is. The Koshius couldn't keep it in. We'll have a boundary throw in on the outer wing. So the Swans have got back into this first quarter with a bit of better pressure. They are 1-4-10. Gold Coast 2-5-17.
Around the grounds, MCG late in the opening term. Richmond 2-3-15. Collingwood 1-3-9. We'll keep you across that as always. These 2 Saturday afternoon games. Rowbottom here for the Swans. Toes it toward the line now. Butterick shields it over for a deliberate.
It's just
Gold Coast Suns free kick at right half back.
It's just good maturity from Gold Coast. You know, they will turn over 2 kick-ins and they've gone, you know what, we're just going to go along. That's good experience being shown by them. The group obviously clearly starting to develop.
Suns by 7. Powell's kicked the turnover straight to Rowbottom. Hennery spent it before he had it as well. Tries to keep it moving. As Parker puts a big tackle here on Davies. Umpire lets them play. It comes free now. Off half forward here for the Sydney Swans. And he's going to penalise him. He's holding the ball. That was Powell underneath all of that.
Sit on Franklin's head. He's 1 out on Collins now.
Gordon was the tackler. So Gordon has the ball. 65 out from attacking goal here for the Sydney Swans. He balks around Powell and he goes inside 50, but will come back, and now a free kick downfield going the way of the Suns.
Yeah, I was watching Franklin, got him high to try and push him off. I was watching the contest thinking he should kick it higher to him, 1v1, but no, Franklin, a bit of descent, 50.
And so the free kick will be taken by Will Powell after all of that at right half back for Gold Coast. He chooses to switch it up. Finds Butterick, who tucks the ball under his arm and runs out of defensive 50. He's got Jai Farah here on the wing in front of the interchange gates. Goes short. 15 metres to find Lockie Weller on a long lead. Weller with the handball to Farrow. He's happy to play on. Ducks inside Rowbottom and now sends the Suns inside 50. Well marked back there, though, by Hayden McLean, who was drawn to the ball by Mabia Chol and did well defensively to take a contested mark in defensive 50 for the Swans.
He's playing down back this week as well, Hayden McLean. Goalless last week for the first time this season. Beyond defensive 50, 2-on-2. Heaney in there as well. Hand pass comes wide from Laddams. Kennedy involved. Pressure from Rowell. Out here for Warner. Tries to shuck one tackle. Gets the hand pass back in. Ball for Laddams. Runs straight into a wall of Gold Coast Suns. Dispossessed. In comes Fiorini. Hand pass out wide from him now to Roses. Runs out of room. Will throw it back in. It's out on the full. Had a go at that off the ground. It's out of bounds on the full. In the right back pocket for the Sydney Swans. It's the Gold Coast Suns 2-5. The Swans are 1-4. 25 gone in the opening term. Kick in comes in. Dicey picked up by Rankin. Takes in the tackle of Campbell. And the umpire says holding the ball. So the Swans at least survived that one.
Good recovery, Braden Campbell. It was such a dangerous kick in defensive 50 by the Swans, by Paddy McCartan, but Braden Campbell with a strong tackle was able to win it back. Sydney have it on the wing now with Josh Kennedy, the veteran. Part of that 2012 Premiership team, of course. They're celebrating the 10-year reunion today. With the game today, he couldn't join in the festivities. Maybe there'll be something else tonight, Ty, for Josh Kennedy to get involved in.
I'm sure there will be.
Night 3.
Here's Dana Rampy, kicks it to half forward. Hayden McLean can't mark. Matt Rowell's at the base of it, burrowing his way through. Does well to win a high tackle, Matt Rowell. He got down low and harder than anyone else, and as a result, Luke Parker's infringed on him. Parker with the free kick again, so Rowell goes short and finds Davies, who's the late in for Noah Anderson for Gold Coast. chips it over the top and finds Rory Thompson, who's marked it now, and we have time to just appreciate this moment. 4 years since his last game of AFL football, Rory Thompson. Round 19, 2018 it was. He's taking a mark on the wing, and now he's 150, so maybe he's got a chance to have a shot at goal. His last goal in AFL football came in round 22, 2013.
Oh, great research.
9 years ago.
He's got the leg for it too.
Won't they get around him if he does? Tig, you going to dance on the table for this?
God, no.
This would be an emotional moment for Rory Thompson. 9 years since his last goal in AFL football. He'll kick from 50 metres out almost exactly. It's coming back. It's got half a chance, but it's not going to quite make the distance. Knocked back in by the Gold Coast forwards. At the base of it is Lukosius. He's wrapped up though in a tackle, so we'll have a ball up just outside the goal square for the Suns, inside attacking 50.
It's they who lead by 7 points. Umpire waste no time. Top of the goal square. 4:50 stoppage. Witts out the back here. Have a run by Paddy McCartan. Miller gathers off the Swallow. Quick snap, and it's touched. Goal umpire could see it nice and early. Minor score here for the Suns. They're 2-6-18. The Sydney Swans 1-4-10. 27 going in the opening quarter.
They play on quickly, Sydney, and they've got some run here on the wing. It's McInerney. Puts it on his boot. The kick favours the Gold Coast defenders, though. It pitches just inside. It'll be a boundary throw-in just outside attacking 50 for Sydney, who trailed by 8 points late in the first quarter.
They set up really well behind the ball, don't they, Jason? It always, in that instance, Sydney breaking forward, but the Gold Coast defenders and midfielders getting the right shoulders of the Swans forward, so they've just got to kick it and almost kick for touch in that instant, Justin McInerney did.
Adams palms it down, but it's won by Swallow. Now Lemons, it's a dangerous kick, but well done by Brandon Ellis at centre-half back to get in front of his opponent and mark.
Suns can thrust forward now. Ellis's kick, though, goes on the angle, out to some space on the wing. Ainsworth traps it, unmarked, kicks up the line to the equally unguarded David Swallow. So uncontested possessions here. Now 50 as well. I don't know if it was encroaching or was
I think it was Jake Lloyd was following his man, I thought, but it's been a couple for Sydney. Against Sydney.
Yeah, against Jake Lloyd, you're right, Tig. So this will bring David Swallow to just within range, perhaps, maybe just beyond. They'll just get set here from just beyond the painted 50. An angle better than 45 degrees to the right-hand side. So their captain, one of the inaugural Suns from 2011.
You're almost kicking from the, what is he, 46, 47, because you're not anymore the man to mark. You're almost kicking beside him these days.
We couldn't see 2 goals 7, could we, in a quarter of 40? Swallow connects from 47. It's all the way straight and true. The Suns have their third. 3-6-24. The Sydney Swans are 1-4-10. 29 minutes have elapsed in the opening term here on Grandstand AFL. Meanwhile, at the MCG, Richmond 3-3-21, Collingwood 1-3-9. Late stages opening quarter there.
It's probably the lead that they deserve, nearly going into quarter time, the Suns. So what I have liked, even though they turned the ball over a few times through the mid part of that quarter with their foot skills, just kicking their way through seems to be working for them. Against the Swans at the moment, getting within range and being able to get some of these shots on goal. If they had a kick straighter, and they had some opportunities to kick straighter, then it could have been a bigger lead. But it's working for Gold Coast at the moment. And, pressure's on the Swans to try and work their way through this.
Another slow start by the Sydney Swans. It's been an issue for them throughout the early part of this 2022 season. They've got to play catch-up again. They trail by 14 points here at home in the first quarter. They do win it out of the centre. Luke Parker sends them inside 50 off the hands of Franklin. Here's Logan McDonald, looks for support. He goes to Buddy, tries to get on his left. He fended off an opponent in Ballard, but he did so too high. So he's given away a free kick, has Buddy. The Sydney fans don't like it, but that looked as if it was there.
I reckon he's given away 4 free kicks, is he, in the quarter of football, Franklin?
And there is the quarter time siren. So an excellent start by Gold Coast. They are 3-6-24. They've got the jump on the Swans at the SCG, who are 1-4-10.
Goal kickers are Lockie Weller, Tuke Miller and David Swallow for the Gold Coast Suns. The only major is that of Lance Franklin in the opening quarter of football here. 3-6-24 plays 1-4-10. If you're listening on ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Sport Digital, this is Grandstand AFL.
This week on Landline, painting the beauty of the Monero region.
I'm just looking and trying to do my best to get the truest picture of this beautiful landscape.
And meet the Harvest Yachty.
Being on a yacht, you have to be resourceful, resilient, and that helps on the farm because you can problem solve when something breaks.
That's Landline, 12:30 Sunday on ABC TV.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Balls to Hayward, hand pass gone. Yeah, he's wrapped up. A great follow-up tackle. And it's a Suns ball, 35 out directly in front. This for the first major of the afternoon. Steady approach from 40 and straight over the goal umpire's hat. Lockie Weller.
Happily, who sends Sydney inside 50. Franklin's there and he's taken the mark. Finally, a reason for the Swans fans to cheer. He's got his first of the day.
Ballard just pops it inside forward 50 and Miller presents for him. He lays into it here from just inside 50. Took Miller to the Paddington end and it is all the way there. The Suns have their second. Ainsworth traps it, unmarked, kicks up the line to the equally unguarded David Swallow. 50 as well. Connects from 47. It's all the way, straight and true. The Suns have their third.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
The Gold Coast Suns by 14 points against the Sydney Swans here at a bright, sunny Sydney cricket ground for the first of 5 games all up today on Grandstand AFL. Currently, though, at the MCG, Richmond versus Collingwood, and it is quarter time there as well. And I think you'll find that Richmond and Collingwood, who are also playing at the MCG, have a scoreline of 3-3-21 Richmond to 2-3-15 Collingwood. That's how it all looks there. Just making sure I can get that score in front of me. Meanwhile, in the VFL, we're talking about that because the Sydney Swans are playing there. Our man Callum Sinclair has 3 goals in the half of footy there against Werribee at 12-3-75 to 2-1-13. After this, we're off to Manuka for the Greater Western Sydney Giants up against Geelong. That should be an absolute cracker. Later on, depending on where you are, it'll be Essendon v Hawthorn at Docklands or the Brisbane Lions and the West Coast Eagles at the Gabba. But the Gold Coast Suns in control of things here. A slow start for the Sydney Swans. Our experts to pick it all apart, Jason Saddington and Ty Connelly.
And it's the Gold Coast executing the way they want to play footy at the moment is 100% working for them. Whilst they haven't kicked straight, they're winning the ball at the contest. So contested possession, they're up plus 10, 36 to 26. Clearances, they're winning 9 to 7. So they're winning the ball around the contest, which is a huge start in a game of footy. But it's also their style, like I mentioned. They're kicking their way through the Swans and certainly going inside 50. It's given them some shots on goal. Their possessions, they're 88 to 75, so they have more of the footy. They're 13 to 7 inside 50, so it's working for them. And it's the marks 28 to 19. So that kick their way through is allowing them to get through the Swans and get these shots on goal, even though they haven't executed when they've had their final shot on goal with only 3 goals 6. The Swans, on the other hand, their style, they haven't got it together just yet. And I think if they want to start to get their way through the Suns, who are defending extremely well with their positioning, but also working hard to push back on the Swans when they have the footy, the Swans only look dangerous at the moment when they're winning the ball at the contest and they're quickly going forward through the stoppage or through the contest with their hands, and they're getting on the outside offensively of the Suns. That's their chance to get the ball moving away from the contest and get it inside 50 before the Suns have the opportunity to work their way back in. Swans need to get it moving forward from a contest and stoppage, get that ball going inside 50 a lot quicker before the Suns have an opportunity to work their way back. From personnel point of view, Mills only the 2 possessions, which is extremely low for a quarter footy for Callum Mills, and even Errol Goulden only 1 possession. So the Suns are doing their job perfectly at the moment. They're executing the way they need to execute. the Swans, they need to work their way through this.
Tom Papley only the one disposal as well, coming off 10 touches in his return game last week and no goals.
Yep.
Brandon Ellis, 10 disposals for Gold Coast. He had a very big first quarter. Braden Fiorini, 10 as well. They needed to pick up some slack after they lost Noah Anderson before the game as a late withdrawal, and a couple of their midfielders just underneath that top rank of Anderson and Miller doing a very good job early on.
I've just had 75 metres gained as well myself, just running back. Probably more than that, actually. Probably there and back, making a light.
Put the GPS or high percentage running, you're through the roof.
Back in time for the second quarter. You mentioned Sam Reid's not playing VFL. So he's, you said that, didn't you? He's been held over. He's not playing AFL. He's not playing the VFL against Werribee in Melbourne today, or in Avalon. So, yes, I was just giving that score before. But the second term is underway here. The Gold Coast Suns by 14 points. Bright, sunny Saturday afternoon at the SCG. Laddams and Witts go at it again. In the middle, Papley dumped at a big tackle here from Swallow, and the umpire says, give it to me.
Swallow 7 disposals as well, and that's his third tackle, so he's contributing 2 on the ball. There's Witts and Laddams. Well done by Laddams to extract it out of that stoppage and put it on the boot quickly. A couple of Swans getting each other's way. That was Ballard and Butterick, and now Ballard is wrapped up, so we'll have another ball up in the middle of the SCG. Another slow start for the Swans, Ty. Can you put your finger on why this is happening for them all the way through the early part of the season?
I wish I could. I'd get a lot of money for it. Obviously he's got to come and try and hit the contest and get the ball going forward, but against a team like Gold Coast, you've got to get your hands to the ball at the source so you can play front half football. Again, they win the ball at the source here. Gold Coast, that is.
Matt Rowell is the man who did that over the head of Levi Casbolt. Tom McCartan was able to gather. Now they work it out to the outer wing, Sydney. Ben Ronk led his man to the football in Connor Butterick, and he's won a free kick for his troubles, Ben Ronk. So
it's the first one they've been losing these 1v1s on the exit, Sydney, and Gold Coast have been setting the ground up really well behind the ball, which allowing to keep the ball in the front half. That's getting back to winning your 1v1 football, really.
Ronk to half forward. Good tackle by Errol Goulden on Lockie Weller, who gathered the football, and while his midriff was open, Errol Goulden just pounded in there. We'll have a ball up on the outer wing. It's the Suns leading by 14 points early in the second quarter.
Under the ribcage, NRL style.
All 60 kilo of him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Rowell tumbles a kick up the line. Campbell dives in here to tackle, and the umpire will ball it up on the eastern wing in front of the O'Reilly stand.
He'll be 60 kilos, Briggy.
Please. not much more, but it is a bit more.
62
Ainsworth
at most.
Fires out the hand pass here. Ellis, and now Butterick from the outer logo just thumps it high in the air. Going up inside 50, a little too deep down there for Casbolt, and spoiled him. Now, is that a mark?
Yeah.
He's spoiled. They ran about 10 metres to take a second bite and mark it. So, from the right back pocket, the Swans can go again through Paddy McCartan. His kicks a turnover straight to Connor Butterick. Hand pass here to Weller. 65 from goal. Up inside, forward 50 towards that one-on-one and getting some separation. A strong grab taken down there by Lukosius in the contest with Lloyd. He's 20 out directly in front.
He's a good player. Lukosius, he understood the space that he had behind, and I think it was Oliver Florent was the defender. It was the turnover, obviously, for Tommy McCartan. Paddy, sorry, but it was great football to watch it live. He knew to understand the space behind. He said to his teammate, kick it up high and I'll walk him under the ball.
The number 2 pick in the 2018 draft, Jack Lukosius, goes very close to the man on the mark, but thumps it into the second tier. And they start strongly here in the second term, the Gold Coast Suns. They're 4-6-30. The Swans are 1-4-10. 3 gone in the second term on Grandstand AFL.
It came off the back of, again, some fantastic defensive positioning from the Suns as the Swans are trying to exit out of their defensive 50. Butterick, I think it was that one. Intercept mark, worked off his player, was first to move and get to the mark. And as you said, Lukosius, he was licking his lips a long way out. He knew exactly what he needed and what he wanted well before the ball even left Butterick's foot. He knew exactly what he needed to do to take that mark. He's a super smart footballer. And if they can get the ball to him and Rankin in that forward 50, they are the exciting players and get the job done.
The ball used to be better going forward. Yep. It's as simple as that, hasn't it? You know, they've been patient at times trying to hit ups, and then the Swans, obviously, coaching staff have gone to the players, got to stop the hit ups, and now it gives them opportunities to go long to 1v1s.
The Gold Coast Suns with a 20-point lead early in the second quarter here at the SCG over the Sydney Swans, and they've worked it towards half forward again. That's a big tackle by Chol, but it's in the back of a Swans defender. That man is Jake Lloyd. So they've won 3 of their last 5 games against Sydney, have Gold Coast, and a couple of those wins came here at the SCG. They've started ever so well in this one as Lloyd goes up to Dane Rampey at right half back. Game 198 for Dane Rampey, the 200th coming up in round 10, assuming he stays fit against Carlton on a Friday night. That'll be a big moment for a Swans co-captain. Up to half forward, his kick goes, and Laddams has won a free kick in that pack. Had his arm grabbed. Plays on quickly, Laddams on his left foot, sends it towards the pocket. Franklin's there, as is Logan McDonald. Off the hands of the pack, Rory Thompson gathered it, and Brandon Ellis sees it over the boundary line for a throw-in in the shadows on the SCG. It's the Suns who lead by 20 points in the second quarter.
Franklin just absolutely ragdolled Thompson coming back in front of him there. Welcome back to footy.
Back and it comes. Wits down. Papley held without it. Rowell dispossessed as well in the pocket. Papley goes in again. Parker trying to tunnel it out as well. The umpire will ball it up. 5.5 played, second quarter. Daniel Garb said it's the Gold Coast Suns by 20 points. Again, the Rucks go at it. Laddams lays it down here for Mills. Out it comes again. Papley wheels around, centering ball. Looks like McDonald now Ronk at the drop of that. Hand pass comes to Rowbottom. Papley bursts by. Outside of the boot, kicks straight into Charlie Ballard. Ball bounces back here for Haywood. He's wrapped up, strong tackle. Meanwhile, Parker fires on goal. And the Swans have won in this second quarter. There was a hot footy. Tackles. Hot contested situation. And Luke Parker just somehow found his way to goal. So the Sydney Swans 2-4-16. The Gold Coast Suns are 4-6-30. 6 gone second term. ABC Sport, you're with Grandstand AFL.
Yeah, I think that is the key to the Swans, though, if they want to be winning this game. There's a lot of quick hands in there. Just quick, bang, 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 feed it through, get it off quick. And I think that's the way they're going to get through the Gold Coast, if they can get their hands going and get that sort of run and gun style game, get it going forward, quick hands through, just catch Gold Coast on the back foot a little bit. I think that's their way of scoring.
They just increased their inside 50 number. They'll get opportunities. They've got quality. They've got a better quality forward line than the opposition. So if you give them enough opportunity, damn well will break at some point. But you just got to try and play front half football and try and get the ball in there, as we saw with that entry from Sydney, and then got the stoppage and the score.
The voice of Ty Kennelly and Jason Saddington here on ABC Grandstand at the SCG as McInerney is tackled. The ball spilled free and Gold Coast have swooped. They go inside 50. Well done by Paddy McCartan, though, to cut across Marby Ochol and take the intercept mark. To right half back he goes for Errol Goulden. Finds McInerney in the centre of the SCG. Now the Swans have got some groove going. Here's Ronk. And McInerney to the top of the square. Logan McDonald can't mark. It's punched away from him. Papley leads the chase of the footy, though. Then puts a Shepherd on for McInerney to get it. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Not caught holding the ball. It'll be over for a boundary throw-in. So the margin 14 points in favour of Gold Coast. But now Sydney are starting to get their mojo going in the second quarter.
Around the grounds, MCG, early stages, second quarter. Richmond leads Collingwood by 14 points there. Back in it comes Wits, a former Magpie, thumps it beyond defensive 50. Lukosius in the contest with Paddy McCartan up against the boundary line. Still alive with Rankin, who was taken high. Gold Coast free kick from the O'Reilly wing. Wheels on quickly. Finds the chest of Casbolt. Still a long way from home here. He can wheel and go as well. Up inside forward 50. Rampy on the bounce. It sits up for him. Gets away from Roses. Keeps the footy alive. Up against the boundary line. Fires a hand pass here for Lloyd. Now he can come up the eastern side again. Ellis makes a contest with Parker off hands for a throw-in on the outer wing. It's the Gold Coast Suns. 4-6-30. Sydney 2-4-16. 8.5 played second term here on Grandstand AFL.
You just see, once the game quickens up, the Swans look so much more dangerous. So the key for the Suns is actually be a bit of a slower, dirty game of footy.
Punched by Wits. Luke Miller wins it back for the Suns on the outer wing. Gets it again, Luke Miller. Fends off an opponent. Has Davies inside. He was the late inclusion for Noah Anderson. His kick is an ugly one, but it tumbles its way inside 50. Paddy McCartan reads it best, though, to Florent. And now Blakey, who has a bounce. Strong chase by Malcolm Roses on Nick Blakey, but he gets away and is able to find Logan McDonald at centre half forward. Now kicks for a teammate and he finds him inside 50. It's Luke Parker on a long lead and he'll kick from the pocket.
Yeah, to your point, Chase. quick footy from the Swans, intercept from Paddy McCartan, who's starting to get have an impact in the game, and Lukosius is playing on him. You just got to be smarter with your positioning as a forward when you're playing against an intercept defender. But you bang on, Jace. When the Swans move the ball fast, look extremely dangerous. When
you got Blakey running off half back like that, it's always going to end up in a good shot on goal, that's for sure. Geez, they made Parker work for that mark. It was a long lead, but he had to go every metre of it to get to it.
He can change games when he goes forward, Luke Parker. Kicked one already this afternoon, but this one is on the shallow side and through for a behind. So the Swans are 2-6-18, Gold Coast 4-6-30. In fact, 2-5-17. The Swans, a 13-point lead to Gold Coast.
A couple of Gold Coast Suns flags at the Paddington end as well. The ground, lone cheer squad down there as it goes beyond offensive 50. Tom McCartan does well with the contested situation. Takes a strong mark on the wing. Comes back in field now for Lloyd. Just beyond the logo commentary side. Moves his way around Butterick. High ball inside forward 50. Heaney goes up at the drop. Davies floats a hand pass back and they can just share it around. Fiorini comes wide now back to Powell.
You sounded surprised there was a couple of flags there.
Oh, I just sort of saw them waving there. The red, blue and gold. There aren't many, home fans, let alone away fans at the moment today. Up the commentary side they go. Tom McCartan with the spoil down to Campbell. And a free kick goes away here to the Swans. Now, there's a good crowd here for the home fans, but I know Sydney doesn't do Saturday Arvos all that well. It's more of a Melbourne thing, I suppose. Comes infield now to Florent at half-back.
So a 13-point lead to the Suns, but the Swans have been much better in the second quarter. They are pegging it back slowly. Lloyd and now Warner, who gets around his opponent in the middle of the SCG, goes to centre-half forward looking for Papley. It went over his head. McLean's there, tries to burst his way through a couple of Gold Coast Suns tackles, and in doing so, he's caught holding the ball. That's an accurate call from the umpire. Took on the tackler that Hayden McLean, and he was wrapped up.
It's good to see. It's rewarding a tackle like that. It's been a big change this year on footy.
Collins' kick out to the wing. Rankin worked his man, Braden Campbell, under the foot. He's taken 3 quick bounces, Isaac Rankin, and his kick inside 50 is well done by Casbolt to affect the contest, but he did so illegally on Jake Lloyd. He took 3 bounces in the space of about 15 metres, Isaac Rankin. Did he need to do that?
Nah, you're a good player. I like it. I like you, but come on, it's a bit of look at me, look at me, look at me. You have a balance. You're chewing up time, and your forwards should be hitting your forwards and looking what the forwards are doing ahead of the play.
Neat kick from Florent finds Parker on the outer wing. Suns still by 13 points. Parker's kick to McLean in the contest with Thompson. It skids off his fingertips and out for a throw-in 55 around from the Swans' goal.
It's always that balance, isn't it? You've got space in front of you, you can keep running and bouncing, but then if you go too far, you're taking your forwards out of position, who worked hard to offer up a lead up, but then by the time he's taken that third bounce, they're out.
Just go and kick the goal like I used to.
And when he's taking the bounce, he's not looking at what the forwards are doing in front of him. He's got his head down trying to catch the ball, and that's maybe why his kick wasn't to the advantage of Levi Casbolt. Here's the Swans at right half forward. Callum Mills pokes it inside 50. Well done by young Alex Davies, though, to mark going back with the flight in front of Papley. Plays on now. It's a 2-on-1 situation favouring the Swans. Rampy with the spoil, picked up by Florent. Ainsworth chases him. He's in the middle of the SCG, goes out wide and he finds McInerney on the wing.
It's on a new contract this week for a further 4 years at the Swans, Justin McInerney. Into 2026, he finds Laddams. He wheels and goes inside 50, straight down the throat of Will Powell.
Yeah, no, the Swans have got Gold Coast disease, just turning the ball over, going inside the forward 50 for the last 3 entries. Just go deeper, keep the ball in, and we saw what they did with Parker's goal. Just get it in deeper, create a stoppage, and you've got enough quality in there. They're trying to pick up, be too cute almost with their forward entries. Put some pressure on the defenders by getting the ball deep in, and you get your forwards turning them around and get some opportunities. Free kick stoppages, put some pressure on the opposition defence. Too cute for mine, Sydney.
13 going second term, and now a shocking kick this time coming wide from Powell. It goes out on the full. Parker brings it back in now for the Swans, and that's a turnover as well.
It's too cute.
Straight to Ballard. So the Suns lead by 13 points here. 13 going second term at the SCG.
Scrappy couple of minutes. But the Suns still hold the lead, but they've turned it over again. Well done by Papley, chipping in front of Tuke Miller to win it back at centre half forward for Sydney. Here's Ellis trying to win it back for the Swans. Josh Kennedy's in there now. He gets the handball free to Parker. Has Mills. Mills manages to get the hands away from the tackler. Parker snaps it inside 50 and Heaney's marked strongly in front of his face. He'll kick from 20 metres out directly in front.
just got great ability, Luke Parker, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just when the team needs something, it's been his highlight of his career. Yeah, that's 5-10 minutes. He's had around the ball. He's done the right thing, not messing around with it. Just get it in a bit deeper in that instance.
Even Kennedy hands on the ball in that little passage. But it's like you're saying, Ty, don't be cute. That kick from Parker, just threw it on the boot. Get in there. There's Heaney dangerous.
Heaney with 2 behinds to his name today. 18 goals for the season. He's in the Coleman medal race, the medium forward. That's a bad miss. 20 metres out directly in front. That is not an effort that John Longmire will be happy with. A 3rd behind for Isaac Heaney. The Swans 2-6-18, Gold Coast 4-6-30.
So Ellis for the Suns kicks out and Emma shortly as Thompson can just thump it beyond defensive 50 toward the outer side. 2-on-2. Paddy McCartan goes up. Free kick here to go the way of the Gold Coast Suns. Down to Emma Simpkin on the boundary.
Yeah, Papley giving it his all, coming off. He looked like he was about to be sick on the sidelines, actually, after all those efforts that we just saw from him. I'll keep an eye on Papley.
Thanks, Emma. Comes back across the defensive goalmouth for Lemons. They switch here back to the commentary side. Butterick. Mills comes late to make the contest, and it's a push going the way of the Gold Coast Suns.
Probably there. He wasn't looking at the footy, but could have done it better, Callum.
Back in board to Lemons. Top 10 finish in the BNF last year at the Gold Coast Suns. They lead by 12 points here midway through the second term.
Lemons looks for Brandon Ellis on the outer wing. It was a 2-on-1 situation, though, favouring the Swans. Well spoiled by Hayward. Farah tries to get in first and win it back for Gold Coast on the wing. Callum Mills is there, though. It's very hard to get the football out of his hands. So we'll have a ball up close to the interchange gates. And Gold Coast have just stabilised here in the second quarter. They lead by 12 points.
They're just trying to keep control of the footy a little bit here for a few minutes and get some momentum back. But when they don't have that easy option, they're still probably not taking the best.
Here's Rowbottom and now Goulden, who snaps it inside 50. Well done by Power to lead Heaney to the football. Couldn't mark it, though, so a chance for the Swans to take advantage. McInerney gathers, strolls in on goal and kicks an important one for Sydney. Justin McInerney with his first of the game. The lead cut back to 6 points.
He's got elite work rate, McInerney, doesn't he? Gee, so often you see him in the contest around the wing or even half back, and then a couple of plays later he's getting that ball inside 50. He just runs hard forward again and gets on the end of that. Nice little finish, easy shot on goal. But again, Ty, nothing pretty about what they did there. Just kept the ball moving forward. And some really clean hands to get the ball to McInerney on the fly.
I think it was Lemons that ran over the top of the ball. You just need to be clean in your D50 as a defender. And you give an opportunity to the Swans forwards like that and running forward towards our goal. It's very hard to turn it over. You've got to be strong over the ball and not turn it over. It's a fundamental mistake in your play. You just run over the top of the ball as a defender on your forward 50. Take the ball, take the heat, and we should get another opportunity at that ground ball, Lemons.
Meanwhile, around the grounds at the MCG, Richmond leads Collingwood by 15 points there. 6-7 plays, 4-4. About to hit time on in the second quarter there. From the restart here at the SCG, Rowbottom dumped in a 2-man tackle, and the umpire will ball it up. And near the point of the square. Left half forward for the Gold Coast Suns. They still lead here by 6 points, but the Swans are closing the gap through traffic. Tipped down by Parker. Rowbottom now on his left peg goes high in the air, and it's marked by Butterick off half back for the Gold Coast Suns. On the 45, kicks for some distance here. Lukosius beaten up in front. Paddy McCartan with the spoil over the boundary line near the Gold Coast Suns bench.
How good is it to see him back?
I was going to say, given those scenes in Launceston, there was a lot of uncertainty around how serious that would be. It doesn't take too much given his history, but he's back out there playing footy, which is great to see.
Yeah, it's spot on. It's always a worry with someone his history, but he's valuable. He's becoming valuable to the team now.
They missed him last week desperately against Brisbane. Paddy McCartan, he's got such good synergy with his brother in Tom.
The opposition start worrying about him. You look at your opposition teams and you go look at the Swans defenders. Well, we've got to get someone to stop these intercept markers.
Suns by 6 points. Ball up on the wing. Won by Powell. There is Paddy McCartan. Leads the Lukosius to the football. Manages to get the arms free at half-back and find Blakey. Excellent composure, Paddy McCartan. Now Warner. Handball out wider for Rowbottom. He goes backwards to Rampy. It's that left half-back for the Swans. Rowbottom again. Throws it on the boot. It goes to half-forward. The ruckman compete there. It's McLean and Witts. Witts stands his ground. Here's Swallow. Snaps it up to the wing, and Holman leads Rampy to the football. Couldn't take a mark. Should have taken that, Nick Holman. But here's Rankin. Wins it back for the Suns.
Yeah, nice work through traffic. Gives it off by hand. Gets it back here. Still going here. Rankin up inside forward 50. Finds a leading man and finds a marking target down there inside forward 50. The mark is taken 40 out on a 45-degree angle down there by Ainsworth. So this will be a slightly better angle than where he was for his first opportunity back in the first quarter.
Florence just got caught a couple of times now as a midfielder going back on the opposition forwards in the 1v1. It's not the ideal position. Great coaching, great play by opposition team, understanding the weakness of a opposition player in the Gold Coast and identifying Oliver Florence as a defender.
Momentum with the Swans, but Ainsworth here for the Suns can get one against the run of play on the approach. Makes no mistake. They push their lead back out to 12. 5-6-36. The Sydney Swans are 3-6-24. About to hit time on here in the second quarter on ABC Sport. This is Grandstand AFL.
Jace, we're just talking about Rankin, you know, the difference between having the 3 bounces compared to that instance where he actually had the space in front of him. Wasn't quite sure what the forward was doing, but just kicked it up into the space in front to draw the forward to step in front of Florent and come at the ball. Prime example of not bouncing and not taking your eye off what's happening ahead of the ball.
Absolutely. Give the forward the opportunity, put it to his advantage. The Suns have done well probably through this last 10 minutes. The Swans have had the momentum. They might have kicked 1 goal or had a few shots on goal, but the Suns have hung in there, and that's pretty much a goal against the grain a little bit there, and a nice 12-point lead as we head late into this quarter. They've held firm.
So the Suns by 12 points. Big goal from Ben Ainsworth, former number 4 draft pick, who's come in for some criticism over the years, but as Ty Connelly said in the pre-game, he's really finding his feet this season. The Swans win it out of the clearance, but Sam Collins has done well to take a strong mark back there for Gold Coast. It led to Hayden McLean and Buddy Franklin running into each other, and Collins just watched the ball best. Here's Connor Butterick at right half back for Gold Coast. He's got David Swallow open on the wing, who stood strongly and took that mark despite pressure from Rowbottom. Goes inboard now, looking for Ainsworth. Controlled it to himself, but couldn't quite get purchase on it. And McCartan wins it back for the Swans. Goes up to Buddy. Had 2 hands on the football, couldn't bring it down. Goulden wins it at the base of that pack. Now to Rowbottom. Handball out wider. Finds Laddams. On his left, goes short. And he's got Errol Goulden inside 50. Plays on quickly. He has plenty of men available and open inside 50. One of them, Josh Kennedy. And he's marked it. He'll kick from 30 metres out, almost directly in front.
It's a quality, isn't it, forward of the ball for Sydney?
Yeah. Gold Coast, they're doing a good job of kicking their way through, but it's when they don't have that clear option that they want to take that they try and hit one that's a little bit too difficult, turn the ball over and allows the Swans to go back through them. It's just a nasty little turnover on the wing from the Suns.
Josh Kennedy looking for his first goal of the season. He's got it for the Swans. The champion, 3-time best and fairest, 3-time All-Australian, is on the board for season 2022. And the margin is back to 6 points here at the SCG in favour of Gold Coast.
And it's interesting watching the reaction of the players there with Josh kicking that goal. Nearly every player on the field, bar the 2 McCartans who were too lazy to go down from the 50 to tap on the top of the head, but the whole team got there. And it's an interesting, they obviously understand what's going on with Josh and becoming a bit of a role player and what he's giving up. Just reading a bit more into that. But, you're right. Turnover football kills you. We're trying to be too cute again coming up with the ball, and Sydney got too much quality to.
If you're making a call now, you're saying this would be his last year of footy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. You'd have to, you got too much quality ahead of him, and as far as where he plays in the middle of the field for Sydney now and the way they're going as a club and a team.
There is immense respect for him, as you say, from his teammates and fans alike, certainly from his coach. Parker from the middle, wrapped up by Rowell. He gets a hand pass away late. Warner is collected here by Fiorini. We'll ball it up again. It's Josh Kennedy's first goal since round 19 last year. As you heard there from Garby, his first goal of the season, and his teammates enjoyed that. Gold Coast Suns by 6. Free kick here going the Suns' way. Witts just forward of the centre circles. Awkward high ball up inside forward 50. Blakey was impeded. Casbolt spilled it. Rankin comes loose here. Tumbles it toward the goal line now. Chol collects deep in the pocket. No, he doesn't. Runs it out of bounds for a throw-in up against that left behind post at the Randwick end. It is the Suns by 6 points, 24 gone second term.
Magpies back into it at the MCG. The margin cut back to 6 points in favour of Richmond. It's the same margin here at the SCG in favour of the Gold Coast Suns, and they have the chance to win the ball inside attacking 50. The Swans, though, get hands on it off that boundary throw in. Blakey pokes it out wide and finds Hayward at left half back. And now the Swans get on their bike, trying to find free men. One of them is Callum Mills. He goes short, but up the wing for Blakey, who tucks it under his arm and puts the head down and gets on his bike. There are a couple of chasers, but they don't quite get him. His kick is not accurate, though, inside 50, and it's cut off by Connor Butterick. He's having a decent game there at halfback for the Suns.
Butterick flares it wide here by a foot to Thompson. He marks in the left back pocket, so still inside defensive 50 here for the visitors. Comes into the corridor now for Fiorini. Off a step. Wider still here for Butterick. They'll switch back to the right back pocket. Collins, the former Docker. It's now his fourth year at the Suns, having a solid year as well, mind you. Sam Collins beyond defensive 50. Ellis takes a strong overhead mark.
7 marks to Butterick, and I reckon about 4 or 5 of them have been intercept marks.
And back here for Fiorini at centre half back. They'll switch across to the eastern side again. Mabior Chol is outnumbered. Paddy McCartan parks himself underneath and takes a strong intercept mark at right half back for the Swans.
Mabior Chol's not happy with that kick. He said he was out in the lead. Put it in front of me. You put it behind me. They've won it back though, Gold Coast.
He's having a big impact in the game, McCartan. Sorry, Darby.
Won it through Jai Farah. Just goes backwards to Brandon Ellis, who tells his teammates just to slow it down, just calm down a bit. We've got the lead here at the SCG, he says, by 6 points late in the second quarter, and now they've got a 50-metre penalty going their way as well. David Swallow marches the ball up the ground. It's against Will Hayward.
Step off the mark.
Right in the centre of the SCG, a chance for the Suns to get another one before half-time, leading by a goal. Swallow just pops it up to the top of the square. Casbolt storms out, picked up by Chol on the right boot. He tumbles one through for Gold Coast. That's an important one for the Suns. They stretch the margin back out to 2 goals. Mabior Chol with his first of the game.
It's good to see the big man get dirty down at ground level and win the ground ball. He's obviously a dangerous player up forward for them. He's a marking target, but with his athleticism, you do want to see him be able to follow up and win that ball at ground level. Going back to that, when they're moving the ball forward before that, when Chol just need to bring the ball to ground so he can give himself a chance, because he's got it above the ground and below the ground. And you can see that with the goal he just kicked there.
And that's Casbolt. He came forward. I thought he should have got a free kick actually for chopping in the arms, but he's competed well in the air and actually stopping those intercept marks on slow play for Sydney, where has a presence, got the ball to the ground, and obviously Mabior's able to pick it up and kick on his non-preferred.
Gold Coast Suns by 12 points. The Swans haven't led at any stage in this game this afternoon. Now they come wide now from the clearance. Fiorini now to Rankin. Closes to 45. Unmarked. Nice finish on the run as well.
Wow.
Back-to-back goals for the Gold Coast Suns. And that is a classy finish from Isaac Rankin. Pushes their lead out to 18 points, 7-6-48. The Sydney Swans are 4-6-30, 27 going second term. Meanwhile, at the MCG, around the grounds there, Richmond 8-7-55, Collingwood 5-7-37, approaching half-time there as well.
Centre bounce goal. Mills come in off the wing, which allowed the midfielder to pop the ball over Mills, who's coming into his opposition winger, which allowed him to go forward to Rankin. You make a decision to come forward, you got to impact. Callum Mills was too keen, came forward, the ball was popped out over his head. It's not having a great day, Callum, but you talk about Rankin, I've said it before, just run and kick the goal. He's got that quality to do that. He's got immense speed and he's got great composure, and as we saw in that, but it's probably where the game is at, really, as far as what they deserve. Gold Coast, they fought hard to fight Sydney's Storm that came at them early in the quarter.
For the Swans with a lot of work to do as we approach half-time to perhaps avoid one of the upsets of the season here at the SCG. Ball in dispute in the centre of the ground and the Suns win it back. Here's Butterick, who's been really impressive. Sends them inside attack again. Bounces around inside 50. Paddy McCartan does well, watches it so closely and then cleanly kicks it up to centre half forward and finds Buddy Franklin. Now a chance for the Swans to peg one back. Franklin's got a man on a lead. It is Ben Ronk, and he has marked it inside 50. He'll kick from on 50 pretty much. Maybe just behind the paint, Ben Ronk.
He'll take him on, go around the mark.
Does that now. It doesn't have the distance, so pops it to the top of the square. Floating across was Hayden McLean. It's off his hands and through Foray behind. Margin back to 17 points in favour of Gold Coast.
Could have kicked the distance the way he half kicked that. Yeah. Just popped it up and it looked like should have won.
Only fell 5 short.
Stuart Dew watching on nervously. The Gold Coast coach, they've lost their past 3. They've had a decent start here today.
Yeah, they need a win. They need a win because they've worked hard and the game plan is coming together from nicely. They just need to get some reward on the board as far as wins are concerned. The 5 of the last 6 they've lost.
From the kick out, Farah to Fiorini, and he goes long beyond defensive 50. A free kick here as Laddams hit the deck in back play. A bit of remonstration there, Rampy on Rosas. It's going to come back here to the Swans' big man. Laddams from just 4 to the wing. Time running out before half-time. Up inside 50 they go. Haywood gets set, but a strong grab taken down in defence from Ballard. And you'll have it in the left back pocket for the Gold Coast Suns. They lead by 17 points.
Some impressive players in the key position posts, the Suns. Ballard and Collins down back. Chol and Casbolt perhaps don't have strong reputations. They're doing a pretty good job earlier this season in attack. Now the Swans win it back, but the halftime siren goes, and the Gold Coast Suns will be delighted with this. A major shock at the half here at the SCG. Gold Coast 7-6-48. Lead the Sydney Swans by 17 points. They are 4-7-31.
Goal kickers in the game so far. Firstly for the visitors, singles all to Ainsworth, Chol, Lukosius, Miller, Rankin, Swallow and Weller. Meanwhile for the Sydney Swans, all singles there again. Franklin, Kennedy, McInerney and Parker. The Gold Coast Suns by 17 points here at the SCG. Our experts are Ty Kennelly and Jason Saddington.
Well, the Swans probably won the quarter in terms of the way it was played and probably had the most opportunities and looked a better team through the quarter. But on the scoreboard, the Suns ended up winning the quarter with those couple of fantastic late goals. I think they kicked 4 goals straight for the quarter. So whilst they were a little bit wayward in the first and wasted some opportunities, they made the most of their opportunities that quarter. The Suns, Stuart Dew will be extremely impressed with his team. They've been good around the footy. They've won the hard ball. You know, Fiorini, Alice, even Swallow and Miller are doing their bit around the midfield. And their backs have been fantastic. Like Butterick, as a young player, his intercept marking for a small has been brilliant. We mentioned Collins. They've been fantastic, the Suns, in the way that they've been able to play through the quarter. And more impressively, when they were under the pump, they still held firm and they've extended their lead going into half-time.
Yeah, they'll be extremely happy with this, obviously, and I think it's what they deserve as far as the scoreboard's concerned. The dominance that they had in the first 15 minutes of the game, they didn't get the score on the board, and they were able to wither the storm from Sydney the first 10 minutes of the quarter. But Sydney's midfield is just not going. It's not moving. Witts is getting his hands on the ball from a hit out. They're getting dominated a bit around the ball. Mills is not getting his hand on the ball. Florence not getting his hands on the ball. Parker's probably the only one for a 10-minute period there in the second quarter, which gave him a bit of momentum going forward. But it's an issue they need to address as far as getting their hands on the ball as a midfield group are getting beaten up a small bit by the Suns.
Yeah, well, you look at their possession was like Lloyd obviously always racks and stacks down back, but he's had 14. McCartan's had 11 and Laddams has had 11, so it's not their ball winners that are getting all the footy.
Buddy Franklin, 4 disposals, 1 goal. Isaac Heaney, only 4 touches for the game. He has kicked 3 behinds. He's wasted opportunities. And Tom Papley, only the 4 touches for him, and he hasn't affected the scoreboard at all, coming off a quiet game last week in his first game back. They are the 3 biggest match winners forward of centre for the Swans. They need to get into it in the second half.
It's how they're going to score for mine is the issue for Sydney at the minute, because they're not winning the ball at the source. Yep. And it's only bits where you're seeing them run and go and take the game on going forward. But Gold Coast are going to get opportunity because the way they set up behind the ball, once they get it inside their 50, they'll get free kicks or they'll get stoppages and they'll get opportunities forward of the ball. But Sydney just look a bit rattled. I'm not too sure which way they're going to score. How are they going to score? You know, if John Lombard, you go, right, do we try and create? Isaac looks dangerous. He's in 4 possessions, 3 shots at goal. But how do you create the midfielders? You get a half forward up to the stoppage because they're getting beaten around the ball, which gives the opposition team a player to drop off the ball. So they've got to make these decisions as far as how they're going to change what's happening around the ball from mine, John Lombard, that is. But if you're the Suns, you'd be absolutely delighted what's happening. And I think I said it during the call, like it's reward for, they need to get the win. They need to get the reward, and Stewie Dew deserves to get a reward because he's done so much good with this team, the way they're playing and the style that they're playing. It's a style that's going to win this team a premiership. Whether he's coach or not is the difference. They're playing a style that's going to win flags.
inject more experience and a little bit more talent, and 100% the game style holds up.
Did the skill level improve or get worse in that second term?
Yeah, you're right. It probably did, because and I think what Sydney done, Sydney got a bit more alert to actually what the Gold Coast were trying to do with the ball by slower play. And we talk about it in AFL, where you want, as if opposition player has the ball, you're stealing the base. If you get baseball terminology, you're trying to steal a base and you're playing in between. And we saw Papley do it a couple of times. Rowbottom did it a couple of times. So you're actually looking at your man and where the ball is coming from and trying to steal a base and trying to intercept. And Sydney got a bit better at creating some turnovers, as we saw they're able to get opportunity scoring. But yeah, the quality wasn't great.
Gold Coast Suns by 17 points here. 7-6-48 plays 4-7-31. Second half to begin shortly. The little leaguers are out there, the Oz kickers, which is great to see. Yeah, not a bad crowd. It's just sort of there are empty pockets over on the far side in the shadows, where it's been quite a cool morning in Sydney, so maybe it's a bit cooler in the shade. We're checking them with Simkin downstairs and getting up that on conditions when the second half gets underway. More from Jason Saddington and Ty Keneally shortly. More stats analysis coming your way, as well as the second half. Meanwhile, by the way, at the MCG, it is half-time there. Richmond 9-7-61, Collingwood 5-7-37. Tom Lynch has 5 goals to the half. So nice opportunity early on from him, as well as 18 disposals. So that's the story of the day so far at the MCG, where Richmond leads Collingwood by 24 points. The Suns by 17 points here at the SCG. Right now it's time for us to head to the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Opposition leader Anthony Albanese is denying a media report that Labor would have budget deficits up to $10 billion greater than the coalition over the next 4 years if it wins government. News Corp is reporting that Labor's final costings, which are yet to be released, will show an increase in debt to cover Labor pledges such as childcare, health and aged care. Mr Albanese says that is not the plan.
All of our costings will be released, but I can just say that report that I did see in the paper, I don't know what it's based on. It's certainly not based upon comments from the Finance Shadow Minister or the Shadow Treasurer.
A senior federal government minister has insisted she's not focused on what happens after the election, with just 2 weeks to go before polling day. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has spent the past 4 weeks outlining what a coalition government would do if re-elected. It includes wanting to pass religious discrimination laws and address protections for gay students at a later date. Minister Susan Lee was asked for her views.
Well, as I understand, those two issues will be treated separately after the election. I'm not focused on what happens after the election. I'm focused on what happens in the next 2 weeks. They're both important issues. Right now, we're not painting a picture of what we might do in government after the election. We're working very hard every day between now and May 21.
Labor frontbencher Bill Shorten has tested positive for COVID-19 just 2 weeks before Australians head to the polls. Mr Shorten is one of several Labor frontbenchers who have had coronavirus during the federal election campaign. Mr Shorten has posted on social media that he will be out of isolation for the final week of campaigning. Real estate industry leaders say it should be business as usual at auctions and open inspections in South Australia and other parts of the nation this weekend, despite this week's interest rate rise. Evelyn Manfield takes up the story.
This is the first weekend since the Reserve Bank increased the interest rate by 25 basis points that home buyers and sellers will head to auctions and open inspections. Executive Director of the South Australian Housing Industry Association, Stephen Knight, says historically interest rates have been much higher.
They are modest, and thankfully in South Australia our mortgages are lower than in the eastern states.
But the latest figures from the Office of the Valuer General show house prices in Adelaide are rising. The median house price has increased by 25% in the 12 months to March to $650,000.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says diplomatic efforts are underway to save the remaining troops still defending the steelworks in the southern city of Mariupol. Ukraine says 50 more civilians were evacuated yesterday, while accusing Russia of violating a truce intended to allow dozens more to escape. The defenders have vowed not to surrender, but Ukrainian officials fear that Russian forces want to wipe them out by Monday, in time for Moscow's commemorations of the former Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. The remains of 4 Aboriginal ancestors have been reburied in Wellington in the New South Wales Central West. Cecilia Connell reports.
A burial ceremony has been held at the Wellington Caves near Dubbo after the state government repatriated the remains of 4 Aboriginal ancestors from the Australian Museum. The remains of 13 ancestors were removed from the area without consent from the late 1800s to the 1970s. All have now been laid to rest on country. Local elder Uncle Barry Smith says the repatriation, which began in 2015, was extremely important for the Wiradjuri people.
One man is under police guard in a Queensland hospital and another is on the run after shots were fired at police officers in Toowoomba yesterday. Elizabeth Cramsey reports.
The shots were fired from an allegedly stolen vehicle in Harristown at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Police returned fire and the vehicle sped off, but a short time later, a man presented at Toowoomba Hospital with gunshot wounds. He remains under police guard. No charges have been laid. One other man is still on the run. No police officers were injured in the incident and the Ethical Standards Command is investigating.
And about 100 migrants have been found in the back of a semi-trailer that had broken down on a highway in the US state of Texas. Many of the occupants, whom authorities suspect illegally immigrated into the US, jumped out and ran away into nearby bush, around 145 kilometres southwest of Houston. Deputies have located 64 people, including the truck's driver, and put them into custody.
The aged care sector.
Cost of living.
Young people really care about climate change.
Keep across all the election news that matters to you.
With a lineup of some of the ABC's best podcasts on the ABC Listen app.
Get in-depth reporting from podcasts like Hack,
The Party Room,
and daily coverage from Australia Votes, hosted by Melissa Clark, James Glenday and me, David Spears, as we run through the issues that matter to voters.
All the latest election news that matters to you.
With the ABC Listen app.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL. On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Weller, 65 from goal, up inside, forward 50 towards that one-on-one and getting some separation. A strong grab taken down there by Lukosius. Goes very close to the man on the mark, but thumps it into the second tier. Ball bounces back here for Haywood. He's wrapped up, strong tackle. Meanwhile, Parker fires on goal, and the Swans have won in this second quarter.
Well done by Power to lead Heaney to the football. Couldn't mark it though, so a chance for the Swans to take advantage. McInerney gathers, strolls in on goal and kicks an important one for Sydney. Swallow just pops it up to the top of the square. Casbolt storms out, picked up by Chol on the right boot. He tumbles one through for Gold Coast.
Wide now from the clearance. Fiorini now to Rankin. Closes to 45. Unmarked. Nice finish on the run as well. Wow. Back-to-back goals for the Gold Coast Suns.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Half-time at the SCG. It's a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon. You're on Grandstand AFL with Brett Sprigg calling the action alongside Daniel Garb. Our experts are Jason Saddington and Ty Kennelly with Emma Simpkin on the boundary. Down to Emma shortly for an update on conditions, as it has been a rather cool sort of overnight conditions coming into today. Of course, very few clouds in the sky and nice conditions overhead, but we will check in down there shortly and see how things are progressing. With this game halfway done, the Gold Coast Suns lead the Sydney Swans by 17 points at the half. Around the grounds at the MCG, Richmond leads Collingwood 9-7-61 to 5-7-37. As I mentioned before the news, Tom Lynch has 5 goals won in a half and 40 from 18 touches. He also has the most disposals on the ground as well, equal with Jaden Short, who has 18 himself. Trent Cotchin has had 15 disposals, and meanwhile for the Pies, Jack Crisp, Jordan DeGoey, each with 14 as well, but Tom Lynch with a handful of goals to the half-time break there. Coming up next, if you are listening on News Radio through New South Wales and ACT, it'll be the Giants up against Geelong at Manuka Oval. And then later on tonight, the 2 Saturday night games, depending on where you are, you'll hear Essendon v Hawthorn at Docklands or the Brisbane Lions against the West Coast Eagles at the Gabba. And, of course, the best place to find all of our coverage is head to the AFL app, where the AFL, of course, retains streaming rights on our games, so you can find whichever ABC call you're looking for tonight with all of those games happening. The Brisbane Lions and the West Coast Eagles Garby. What's a good result for the West Coast Eagles tonight? It's probably a dangerous question to ask, but I keep looking at that game and thinking, we saw the Brisbane Lions here last week. We know they are a top 4 team, a genuine contender. I mean, it's just such a bad time for the West Coast Eagles to get them.
A good result would be getting back without the heaviest defeat in their history being inflicted upon them. I mean, that's quite possibly where it's at.
Yeah.
It's got the makings of an absolute humiliation if Brisbane wanted to be that. I mean, there's every chance you guys would have been in that position, Jace, Ty, where you know you're going to win a game comfortably and maybe you just go through second and third gear in order to get it done. Yeah. But if Brisbane are frothing at the mouth in order to put a big score on tonight, I don't know how West Coast stops it being just an absolute barrage.
Well, you can't see them winning.
Well, that's zero. I mean, just about zero chance.
What do you want to get out of it? No injuries?
No more injuries.
No more injuries.
No COVID.
I guess it maybe it becomes a platform to build on effort. If you can have a ton of effort and put pressure on it, you're not going to win the game, but at least you turn it into a 5-goal loss or even say, can you have a good 8-goal loss? I don't know, but it might be the catalyst of just to kickstart. Well, if we bring that effort, once we get players back, at least we've got a really good starting point. But it's a really tricky one. It's a tough one. Not probably the greatest look for anyone in the AFL wanted coming into this, but at least there's a contingency plans in place to get through this. We're not cancelling games. We're not missing games. We're rolling through in a difficult way, and it's bloody tough for West Coast, that's for sure.
They've had 900-point defeats in their history. Their biggest though is 142 points. That was back in 1989.
Whoa.
So
it's not in the realms of possibility. It's not the way they're playing.
24, 25 goals.
I think what it's doing is masking a lot of problems that West Coast had with their list management.
Yeah,
that's what COVID's done. I reckon it's covered up a lot of issues that they've got. It's a deeper issue for mine as far as the recruitment and list management before all this season. They've gone around again. They've gone to the well after what happened in 2021 when they shouldn't have.
The interesting aspect is that when they were in this position early in the season and needed top-up players, they actually produced some of their best performances. They gave North Melbourne an almighty scare away from home with a lot of players out and waffle players required to come in, some of whom hadn't even met their Eagles teammates until the day before the game. Then they beat Collingwood away from home with a number of players out. Maybe it will bring back the effort into the team, which has been sorely lacking in the past 3 weeks.
By the way, around the grounds in other sports in the NRL, and just a reminder, of course, Brisbane West Coast, you'll hear that if you are listening on Queensland News Radio, which some of you are now, that game at the Gabba tonight. NRL, Manly Warringah and the West Tigers, 0-0 in the opening 5 minutes there, and in Super Rugby, Moana Pacifica 17, lead the New South Wales Waratahs 7 late in the first half there. In the lower grades, as far as the Aussie rules is concerned, the VFL, the Brisbane Lions are thumping Coburg by 65 points. It is late in the final term there. As far as the Sydney Swans are concerned, three-quarter time in their game against Werribee, 14-5-89. The Swans lead 2-2-14. There's a whole other story there, folks, just about standalone VFL teams and I guess the gap in standard there. The Swans lead that by 75 points. And I did see as well, Joel Amati had 4 goals, and Callum Sinclair still has 3. So that's what's happening there. For the interest of those listening through Queensland, the other game I saw here, having just mentioned the Brisbane Lions, the Gold Coast Suns VFL side also competing against Williamstown, and it's Williamstown leading there by 10 points late in the first half. The Swans and the Suns are back out on the SCG here. Gold Coast leads by 17 points. What would John Longmire have said to the Sydney Swans at halftime?
We've got to win the footy. We've got to get the footy. They've been done. Contested possession and clearances at the moment, so it's around the source, like Tig mentioned, I think, through that quarter. They're Gold Coast winning contested possession 65-57 and clearances 20-14. So Horse will be looking straight at that, winning the ball at the source and getting that back in their favour around contested possession and clearance.
Clearly they've got better forward half than Gold Coast, and so how do you give the opportunities to that better forward half is actually win the ball at the source. The other thing for mine is Sydney need to play quicker. The game, they need to play the game fast, and then they'll catch Gold Coast out by playing fast, and we saw that numerous times when Justin McInerney and Nick Blakey got their hands on the ball. But I think they just need to play quicker on turnover and go for it.
You're seeing a few of the boys here from the 2012.
I see Mummy Scarlett.
Yeah, Mummy's got a half full vessel in his hands. There's a few of them. They're on the. I think they're in one of the boxes out here somewhere.
I've been concerned that Ty Kennelly was about to leave the commentary box and run in there.
I'm frothing.
He was watching with such envy as the 2012 Premiership team gathers and enjoys some drinks here in the sunshine at the SCG.
I was going to say, it is a sunny day. There's a few dark sunglasses. I don't know if it's because of that or because they caught up yesterday as well. The
3 day. Got to keep going tomorrow. They got something planned tomorrow.
You know, it just occurred to me, it's only 3 years away from the 20-year 2005 reunion. That will make you
feel old.
Anyway, second half still to come here. Ty Kennelly is still with us. He hasn't run off to join the function just yet. He will be at some point, I'm sure. Gold Coast Suns by 17 points. Emma Simpkin downstairs. What are conditions like down there, Emma?
Conditions are still good. That wind, of course, seems to swirl a little bit here at the SCG. The cloud, the shadows starting to form over the ground now, and it looks like John Longmire is going to sit down on the bench for the second half, so we'll probably be able to hear him in the effects mic.
Yeah, absolutely. The turf does look a bit worse for wear, as you mentioned earlier. I mean, they have played a bit more footy here. They're playing another home game next week against Essendon. But for now, there's still a matter of half of football to go here. Getting us back underway on Grandstand AFL, here's Daniel Garb.
Meant to be a day of celebration at the SCG, the 10-year anniversary of the 2012 Premiership. It's a day of shock at the moment. Gold Coast lead by 17 points. But the Swans win it out of the middle to start this third quarter. Watching it closely, though, and running back with the flight and taking a defensive mark of importance is Charlie Ballard, though, for the Suns. Goes short and finds Sean Lemons.
Underrated player, Ballard, the way he intercept marks and even the way he took that ball was very comfortable.
Lemons plays on to the outer side looking for Witts, who's in front of Laddams. And he was pulled down without it, Jared Witts, so he'll win a free kick just behind the wing. Right half back for Gold Coast.
That's been Ballard and Butterick, hasn't it, with those intercept marks stand back.
Plays on quickly to Ellis, who now sends Gold Coast to half forward. Rampy's there watching the ball flight with Marbia Chol and spoiling it over for a boundary throw-in. So as Emma Simpkin said, the shadow's starting to extend over the SCG. Gold Coast with a 17-point lead early in the third quarter.
Back in it comes. Laddams and Witts get tangled up. Witts goes to it. Just to parry it down to Rowell. He was second to the football. Lays a tackle there on Callum Mills. Will ball it up again.
Strange tactic, Todd, but do you look to kick the ball going forward a bit more on the ground if you're the Swans? It sounds ridiculous, I know, but
yeah.
Rowell gets to it here on the bounce, goes a fend, finds a bit of room, gets that left foot kick up inside forward 50, a little too deep down there for the target, Casbolt. Knocked away by Tom McCartney, only as far as Rankin. The dribble it in from 35 out on the run. Nice work from Isaac Rankin. Second goal for him this afternoon. And the Suns start strongly in the second half. They lead now by a game-high 23 points, 8-6-54. Plays Sydney's 4-7-31.
What I think you mean by that, Jason, is just get it out of that stoppage and get the opposition midfielders turned around, going the other way, and give them opportunities, because they're getting, again, a bad starter on the ball for Sydney. Roll, missed tackle, just come out of that stoppage too cleanly, too easily, and Rankin just made that look so easy. On his left, he's 30 out. Oh, yeah, pick it up. Ground ball away from goal towards the boundary. Yep, on my left.
Off balance.
Isaac
very
Rankin.
worrying. Very worrying. To kick another one, it's
a big lead.
It's a big lead. And they're good enough to hold on to leads, I think, by the way if they can keep the ball in the forward half, Gold Coast, that is.
23 points the margin at the moment. Isaac Rankin, the first multiple goal scorer of the afternoon. He's got two as well, controlled by Marbia Chol down to him as well. But the Swans win this clearance from the goal. Mills to Warner. Into the pocket he goes. Logan McDonald does well to keep his feet in the marking contest. Now they give it up, though. Ballard looked for Rory Thompson, who was tackled without it. No free kick. We'll have a boundary throw in inside 50. Chol and Casbolt again. I mean, they're not the prettiest combination in attack, but they're proving very effective early on in the season and again today.
Yeah, sometimes you just need targets. Players that can at least you can kick it to, and they'll bring the ball to ground.
And back in it comes Hayward. Buster a tackle, sends a hand pass out wide. Warner from the pocket brings it back, but not enough. Misses near side for a minor score. Sydney 4-8-32. The Suns are 8-6-54. 3.5 played, third term.
Gold Coast to the back pocket where they find Will Powell. The kick in came from Connor Buderick, who's having a very good afternoon. Short they go to Brandon Ellis, who's up to 18 disposals when he gets rid of this one. Noah Anderson was a late out for Gold Coast, so the likes of Fiorini and Ellis are having big games to pick up that slack. To the wing, Ellis's kick goes. It's off hands. Dane Rampy's been hurt in that contest. His teammates surge inside 50 though. Mills finds a target in Logan McDonald, dropping down to his left. He failed to reel it in, and now Gold Coast can try and make them pay. Tuke Miller is caught though. Was he caught high?
He was probably high actually. He was lucky, I think, as far as
Sydney
free kick.
Sydney fans wanted holding the ball. There's a fair shout for a high tackle. In the end, the umpire decides he'll just ball it up.
Suns by 22. Ball in the air. Witts taps it down. McInerney in there as well. Now free kick for a block will go the way of the Gold Coast Suns, and Witts will swing it wide for Buderick.
Sydney haven't changed anything as far as bringing it forward into the stoppage. They're back in their midfield group with Askett further quarter time or half time, about putting an extra metre on the ball. They haven't done it thus far.
To Weller, and now Ainsworth. Marks on the wing, commentary side, in the shadows of the ladies' pavilion. Now he comes on the angled kick now for Lukosius. Just forward of the wing. Plays on away from Paddy McCartan. Goes up inside forward 50. Back with the flight. Casbolt there and Tom McCartan. It's rowed by Will Powell. Fires on goal. Misses to the left-hand side. So they're peppering away still, the Gold Coast Suns. Back out of that 23-point lead. 8-7 plays, 4-8-5 gone third term.
Jake Lloyd tries to get things going for the Swans. Dane Rampy has recovered from that heavy knock before, but his handball put Braden Campbell under a lot of pressure. It allowed Will Powell to swoop. With a kick inside 50, he finds Ainsworth in the pocket, runs around on his left, snaps on goal now. It's across the face and out of bounds on the full. Yet again, the Gold Coast Suns with a turnover in attack.
You see, when your intensity is off, you get some skill errors, and that's clearly what's happening with Sydney right now. Missing handball targets. Very worrying for Sydney. Gold Coast all over them.
A few missed tackles in there too.
Blakey kicks back in to find Campbell.
Is Horse still down on the bench, or has he gone somewhere quiet?
I reckon he's gone onto the ground, probably trying to do something.
He might. Emma, say that again?
His feet.
Okay. He's not going to the function like I'm pretty keen to do if they keep turning the ball over. Paddy McCartan marks it in the right back pocket. Short ball for Mills. They trail by 23.
Asking Sydney to go fast, Briggy. They're playing too slow. It's great play by Gold Coast to slow them up, but the City want to play fast. It's what they're doing well and have done well this far in the season, but Gold Coast holding them up.
It's a very slow switch here. Lloyd marks on the paint of the 50 at left half back. Up the outer side he goes. A little too deep for Heaney in the contest with Powell. Thompson hand pass inboard, picked off by Ronk of the Swans, tackled, dispossessed. They get it away back now. They go inside 50 through Swallow, and Casbolt presents and takes the overhead mark. 40 out on the angle in the right forward pocket.
It's not often you see Isaac Heaney lose a 1v1 on a wing. Sometimes you got to take your medicine also and just take it and go down long down the line when it's actually not working as far as they want to go fast, but you're trying to create and that forces the turnover. But got to win your 1v1s also.
This is Levi's first look of the day. He had 4 goals 4 last week. Levi Casbolt against the Pies. He connects here from 45 and he misses near side. So 8-8-56 now, the Gold Coast Suns. They lead the Sydney Swans 4-8-32. 7.5 played third term. Meanwhile at the MCG, Collingwood have just got one back. It's 24 points now. Richmond's led over the Pies.
I feel like we've pressed play on the first quarter again. It's all Gold Coast. It's all in their front half, but they're not kicking the goals, kicking behind.
Callum Mills is trying his best, the Swans co-captain, to get them going. Getting a lot of possessions in defensive 50. Marks this one off the Nick Blakey kick-in. Now goes short and finds Isaac Heaney, who does better on this occasion on the outer wing, marking in front of his face.
It's too slow again. Kick. We need a handball. They need to get going.
Suns are back in numbers and positioned up well. Heaney finds a man, though, at centre-half forward in Papley. Only the 5 disposals for the day to Tom Papley. Yet to hit the scoreboard. Failed to kick a goal in his return to AFL footy last week. He Doesn't even look at other options. He'll kick from just outside 50, but he says, I'm taking this upon myself to get us back into this game.
Can you kick it, Chase?
Yeah, or if it's the goal on offer, Tom Papley kicks it. Doesn't he? He loves a goal.
He's 55 metres out directly in front, the All-Australian from last season. It's just fading a little bit, but he snuck it through, Tom Papley. That's a big goal. The Energizer Bunny of the Sydney Swans tries to fire up his teammates, margin back to 18 points.
Hates the goal, Pap. Hates the goal. It's interesting. It was slow play from the Swans, and Heaney did take his time. I don't know if the Gold Coast defenders were caught napping, because Papley just got some really good positioning on his opponent, a bit of body, and he had a bit of space to work with in the end after Heaney's kick sort of changed the angles on him. Good response from the Swans. They needed that little kicker to maybe get them going. Interesting, though, going into this quarter tie, we talked about contested possession. The Swans are up. The Suns were leading +8. It's already out to +14. So, again, around the source, which we thought Horse would have asked for a bit of a lift. They've actually been beaten again.
And if that continues, Gold Coast will win the game.
Yeah. Well, do you put Kennedy on ball a bit more now?
Yeah.
Try and wrestle that back a bit.
You can go with Swallow, you can go with Roll. Like, they're not going to exploit him in the spread.
From the restart, Swallow beats Robert of the football. He's dispossessed himself, though. Ainsworth gets through, run down by Rowbottom. Towed forward here by Ellis. Picked up in defence by the Swans, and Florent kicks beyond defensive 50. A little too wide there for Heaney. Power wrapped up. Huge tackle this time. Down in front of us by Hayward. And we will ball it up between wing and half forward in Gold Coast's attacking half. They lead by just 18 points now. 10 gone third term. Ball in the air. Laddam's in front. It's wrapped up here by a couple of Suns. Parker. Ball comes loose. Lloyd, keen to the offer step, can clear.
There's Hayden McLean as the target. Well done by Rory Thompson to slap it away from him. In his first game back in 4 years. One of the great stories here at the SCG on a Saturday afternoon. That helps Gold Coast regain possession. Strong tackle by Holman on Laddams, but Laddams did brilliantly to keep that in front of the interchange gates. Then McLean was wrapped up in a tackle. Ball spilled free and won back by the Suns. Excellent smother, though, on Farah's kick by Callum Mills. So Sydney going to attack once more. And Buddy Franklin's given away another free kick on Collins. That's probably free kick 5 that Buddy's given away this afternoon. And Sam Collins has certainly got his measure in that matchup.
A short ball across the goal mouth here for Ballard. The Suns out of defensive 50 through Lemons. Swallow takes the mark at right half back. Gold Coast leads by 18 points. Now it's wide for Ellis. Another slow build up here for the Gold Coast Suns. The dual premiership Tiger. Ellis called to play on now. Back to Swallow. Gains about 20 with that kick.
And Weller's out far here on the left. If we get a bit of patience and get the ball to him here at Gold Coast, as we're looking to the left, just they've gone long down the line, but
he's in a paddock on that corner of the square. Up the outer side they go, though. 3-on-2. Running start McCartan. That's Tom went the spoil. At the drop, Campbell wrapped up here by Ainsworth. The umpire spotted him for a high tackle. Go the way of the Sydney Swans. And so Braden Campbell, the young left footer, will have it. Another short kick up the line. Wide it goes to Tom McCartan.
So McCartan has a man free at half forward. That's Goulden, who's found some space. On his left, he goes to the pocket, looking for Buddy. Went through his hands. Here's Papley. Gathers it cleanly. Gets ball on boot. Heaney has space now. Wheeling around inside 50. Looks for a man in attack. It's Blakey. He strolls in on goal, Nick Blakey, and has missed. Excellent hit up by Isaac Heaney to find Blakey, who played on. But from 45 metres out, he's kicked A behind. Margin back to 17 points in favour of the Suns.
Lemons has it from the kick out. He's going to get 50 here as well.
Gee, there's been a few of those given away by the Swans.
Yeah.
You're moving off the mark.
It's off the mark, that was, but it's a sign of where the team's intensities and their heads at. Giving away 50s and free kicks like this, it's
going to give Ben Ronca a rap for his the last week or so. He's done some great things. Nice pressure acts. Scholl gets set here with the fly. Can't finish off the grab inside 50. Wins the ground ball. Snaps high in the air. It's going to go through for a minor score. Nabior Chol to the right-hand side. So 8-9-57 now, Gold Coast. The Swans are 5-9-39. The margin a clean 3 goals. 18 points, 13 gone, third term.
Very lively in attack, Marby Achol, isn't he? He's filling some big shoes, those of Ben King.
It's exciting.
Giving them a second ruck option as well. He's kicking goals. The Swans move it up to the wing. Well done by Heaney to win front position and then kick the Swans into attack. But Collins leads Franklin to the ball. He's been better than him all day. That's a good tackle by Franklin, though, but he's given away another free kick on Collins. Can you believe it?
That's 4th of the game, according to the official stats.
Jericho, that's been generous to Flower. It's been more than 4.
Down to Emma Simpkin on the boundary.
And the crowd absolutely furious with that last decision against Buddy and starting to get into the game. Maybe this is what will get the crowd involved.
Well, can the Swans get involved here? Tom McCartan is taking an intercept mark on the outer wing. Swings it back in field now. Outnumbered down there is Lloyd. Great grab, Farah. Has runners alongside him. Gets a hand pass off to Ainsworth. Run down by McInerney. Ball goes with him. On the bounce, picked up by Farah. The Suns can go inside forward 50. Scholl has company here with Rampy in the pocket. Rampy goes to spoil. Up against the boundary line. He was ragdolled that time, Rampy. Roses gets there as well. Hand pass off to Holman. He can close and dribble and miss to the far side. That was an opportunity gone begging for the Gold Coast.
An opportunity streaming forward. I'm not too sure it was Farah with the ball going, and he picked the wrong option inside 50, but they're all over him. He got all the answers.
By Rampy as well. 19 points, the Suns lead, 15 gone, third quarter.
He had Roses on a lead, did Farah. Chose to go to Chol in a contest instead. It was most certainly the wrong option. A let off there for Sydney, and now they've got it on the outer wing through Mills, who's having a big quarter. Draw contest there. Happily broke up that pack enormously. Collins went back with courage. The two men collided. Ball's out for a boundary throw-in, but the intensity is ramped up in this one at the SCG.
There was 5 players involved in that.
Collins went back with the flight. Papley met the ball. The two men collided. A couple of others were involved as well. Thankfully, everyone to their feet. Suns by 19 points.
Miller merged with the football here. Hand pass off to Davies up the eastern wing. A little too deep down there for Casbolt. Blakey arrives, mops it up, shares a hand pass to Florent. Comes back inboard. The kick was a little too long that time for Warner. But here's McInerney for the Sydney Swans. Angled kick going inside 50. Sliding out and marking Papley. He's 55 from goal by the time he gets there. Papley looks at the options, pops it up inside forward 50. Franklin's down there with Ronk. They outnumber the Gold Coast defence, and now Thompson dumps Buddy over the boundary line. Deep in the right forward pocket, Randwick end. Boundary throw in here for the Sydney Swans inside their attacking 50. They trail by 19 points, 16 played, third term.
Tom Papley getting into the game. 4 disposals in this third quarter. He's kicked a goal as well. And now a chance for Sydney inside 50 to win it. Great smother by Collins on Rowbottom. Here's Ronk though on his left. Snaps towards goal. He's missed to the near side. Margin back to 18 points. And again, Collins desperately, even though Sydney had another effort on goal, he's standing tall at the back for the Suns.
It's Papley, isn't it? Papley's the one right now for Sydney. His energy around the ball and stoppages certainly. He's creating a bit of havoc and concern for Gold Coast.
Only 1 goal apiece in this third term so far. 16 and a half minutes in. A free kick to go the way of Jared Witts. Lays it off by hand to Lockie Weller. Middle of the ground now for Tuke Miller. Gets away from Rowbottom. On the cricket pitch now, he shares it with Davies just forward of the bullseye. Look out, Ronk, and almost. He slipped the tackle somehow, Davies. 52 out, pops it closer to the big sticks, and it's going to be running too far. Okay, another blue this time for the Gold Coast Suns.
It's been a few for both sets, hasn't it? Last minute.
17 going third term. Gold Coast by 18 points here at the SCG.
Bit of Benny Hill music.
Yeah, it's a bit like that.
Ellis and Fiorini, the 2 players to hit 20 possessions. Lloyd is 18 for the Swans, who have been better in the last 5 minutes of this third quarter. Margin back to 18 points. And they've got men on the near side wing here in some space. Here's Tom McCartan. He finds his brother in Paddy. Wanted to play on quickly. Holman did well to close down that option. Fans wanted a 50. McCartan pops it up now. Rowbottom's there. Takes a good mark, James Rowbottom. Watched it closely and now has Franklin on a lead and he gets him. Buddy's marked it. He'll kick from 55 metres out. He's close up to the boundary line. Finally gets a bit of space on Sam Collins.
Got a great view of this, haven't we? Right behind Franklin here. Looking forward to see how he strikes this one.
You might. I can't see the fix in the corner of the commentary box here. I'll watch it on the telly.
Franklin kicked 6 last week. He's got 1 for the game today, but Sam Collins has certainly been the better in this contest so far, which has been engrossing. But he's given away 4 free kicks against him. Here's a chance to get back into it and, more importantly, get his team back to within 2 goals. Franklin from 55 metres out. It's wide, but it's at the top of the square. Big lead, McLean. Strong mark, Hayden McLean. Marked it at the highest point possible, and he'll kick from 7 metres out directly in front.
Great assist.
You took me through that one too. I couldn't see the mark on it.
He's become a player. You know, for him, he's become a real valuable player, McLean, as far as his ability to contest.
Got Charles down as well, just getting up to his feet now, looking a bit proppy.
He's got great hands, McLean, hasn't he? If you can mark the footy, it's a huge asset.
He just got his hands up to a point that no one else in the contest could reach.
Be big.
9 goals for the season, Hayden McLean. This will be an important one for Sydney. And he's got his 10th, and he punches the air because the margin's back to 2 goals in favour of Gold Coast, but the Swans are coming at him here at the SCG.
So again, another interesting point in the game. I think we saw this a little bit through the second quarter, even in the first, when there's slight momentum shifts, but no team really is capitalising on those momentum shifts. It'll be 1 or 2 goals. Swans will get a little bit closer. Gold Coast will kick away, but then no one's able to really make that decisive move in the game of footy when it comes to the scoreboard. Gold Coast have had their opportunities through the first part of this quarter to probably kick away a little bit further, haven't taken it. Swans have now kicked a couple to get back into it. Do they now continue that momentum and get a little bit closer to Gold Coast, or do they let this momentum slip and it stays this bit of a in the balance type game?
They need to get the crowd involved, the energy. They're a bit flat, the Swans boys, and they just need a bit more energy, get closer and closer, and the crowd will start coming into the game.
About to hit time on here in this third quarter. From the restart, McLean against Charles. It wasn't that marking contest a short time ago. A free kick here for a hold going the Suns' way, and Rowell. Just heard a bloke say, what for in the crowd? Well, if you got the radio, I'll tell you what it was for. It was for a hold. Rowell goes up inside forward 50. Charles in the pack there. Wins it down for Davies. Options are plenty here. Knocked away here. Ainsworth involved. Tumbled back inside 50, but Josh Kennedy has marked. Meanwhile, Jack Lukosius is down in back play as well, holding his right leg. So keep an eye on him as well, as he's just looking very, very in the wars, as McInerney takes a strong pack mark as well on the win commentary side.
The Swans on top now, not on the scoreboard, but certainly on the balance of play late in this third quarter. It's set up for an exciting final stanza. Here's Dane Rampe. It's a low ball inside 50 from him. He's got Warner. Marks it on the chest. Like David Warner in the slips, Chad Warner. And he'll kick from 40 metres out directly in front.
Can play cricket as well. Chad Warner and his brother Corey peeled off a couple of hundreds for East Freo back in the summer. And Jack Lukosius in far more serious news coming off the ground. So down to Emma Simpkin very shortly.
That is a big worry for the Gold Coast Suns as Chad Warner strolls in now to bring the margin back to a goal. He's done so. This precocious talent, that is Chad Warner for the Sydney Swans, with a big goal after marking inside 50.
Quite incredible they're back to within a goal without, really turning the game on its head in terms of the way they've played footy. They've just taken some opportunities in the last 5 to 8 minutes and kicked straight, which has got them back within a goal. For all the hard work Gold Coast have done and some of the dominance they've had in this game, they haven't been able to convert, and here are the Swans, 1 goal in it. Like you said, Tyke, the crowd starts to lift, they start to get into it, and it's almost like a 19th man that might just get them kick-started and start to get an advantage over the Suns here.
Yeah, Justin McInerney won a big ball here on the wing in that marking contest, to allow them to get their hands on the ball and turn the game around into their favour, and give a nice lit patience to Nick Blakey, who allowed Ramps to kick a flower bag that Nick Warner marked and kicked the goal.
From the restart, Tuke Miller spilt it under pressure from Warner. Hand pass went into the bonce of Matt Rowell. Footy comes loose here, back to Warner. Goes a big fend on Swallow, back to McInerney. Needs options here, kicks through traffic, up inside 50. Kind bounce here for Haywood. Shrugs the opponent now, opens up from 45. Will Haywood misses to the far side, minus score. 7-11-53, the Swans. They trail by 5 points on the Suns, who are 8-10-58. Let's go back to the boundary. Emma Simpkin.
And Jack Lukosius has gone back to the rooms, escorted by the doctor. Darcy McPherson warming up, but no indication yet as to whether they're going to use the medical sub.
Well, he's got his right knee heavily strapped, Lukosius, and it looked like he was hobbling on it, so hope it's not too bad for him.
Strong mark by Jared Witts at left half back off the kick in for Gold Coast, who now all of a sudden have their lead pegged back to just 5 points. The Swans well and truly on top in the third quarter. Farah and now Thompson, they move it to the outer side, still inside defensive 50 though. Lemons finds a teammate in Weller, so patient football from Gold Coast, trying to regain their standing in this football match. Farah goes short, finds Connor Butterick. It's been really impressive. Now to Thompson. His first game of footy in 4 years. Suns continue to chip it around inside defensive 50. Lemons, now Fiorini. Finds Sam Collins. Buddy Franklin still tracking him closely. That's been an excellent contest to watch. Collins goes short, left half back. He finds Fiorini once more. He'll rack up possession number 23.
Really smart play from Gold Coast here, just maintaining the football, make the Swans defenders work, or Swans players work. We've had all the momentum the last couple of minutes.
Ainsworth back inside defensive 50 here for Lemons. Throws it toward the outer side. Finds the chest of Weller. Throws a clean pair of heels away from Justin McInerney. Has a bounce. Now on second. Closes to 50. Does he go for home here? Weller, it's gone to the top of the goal square. Fisted away by Rampy. Out of bounds for a throw-in. 20 around from that left behind post. Deep in attack for the Gold Coast Suns. The Swans have kicked 3-1 this third term so far. Meanwhile, the MCG Richmond are out to a 36-point break on Collingwood late in the third quarter there.
It's just that lack of connection again. Well, he could have probably had a shot on goal, but it's a terrible option.
Suns by 5 points here at the SCG. Time ticking down in the third quarter. Rankin tries to keep it in. Can't do so. We'll have another boundary throw in, but it was excellent watching them change the pace of the game there, Jason Saddington, just to get control of the footy once more.
Laddams looks hurt here, so they're going to need a ruckman, Sydney.
Laddams is limping. This is another concern for the Swans. So Hayden McLean's comes from a long way back to join in this ruck contest. In fact, it's Blakey who's standing alongside Jared Witts. Witts palms it out of the air. Here's Ainsworth. It's inside 50 for Gold Coast. Fiorini gets hands on it. Back to Roses. A flying shot on goal on the left. Choles down there, as is McCartan. There's a free kick potentially. It has gone the way of Sydney. Casbolt hit the turf. You thought it might have been going to him directly in front of goal, but it's in the hands of Tom McCartan.
And he shares it with brother Paddy. Across the defensive goal mouth now for the Swans. They trail by just 5 points late in this third quarter. Beyond offensive 50 it comes. Up goes Powell. Strong grab across the front of the pack at left half forward now for the Gold Coast Suns. He's just forward of the wing. Needs a neat entry here. Pops it inside forward 50. Witt standing strong. Contact coming late from McLean. Umpire says play on. In the pocket, Paddy McCartan. Got a kind bounce. Kick was smothered. Great work by Ainsworth. McInerney's coughed it up here to Fiorini. Centering ball now for the Gold Coast Suns. Weller, it bounces away from him. Had to contend with Haywood. Floats a hand pass back. Weller finds Butterick. Off balance here. Kick goes up in the air. Little too deep down there for Casbolt. The drop Campbell here for the Swans. Now Kennedy through traffic. Mills, hand pass picked off by Fiorini. He can snap. It goes straight to Witts. Not 15 by any stretch of the imagination. His kick was smothered as well. Loose footy. Campbell goes in hard. Umpire says we might ball it up. Top of the goal square here for the Gold Coast Suns, who lead by 5 points.
What was going on?
Benny Hill, you said 5 minutes ago. Holy crap.
I don't know how Jared Witts didn't win a free kick for too high inside 50 before. That was a bemusing decision. Here's Rankin though. Quick snap. He's kicked one for the Suns anyway, hasn't he? Or is it touched off the boot?
Just was a nice connection. You talk about connection from an inside 50 ball movement use, but from a ruckman and a forward connection, it was a lovely tap. And the Swans defenders are trying to bluff here, so we'll have a review, I'm sure. 5
points the margin in favour of the Suns. Rankin with the quick kick off. the ruck contest, I think this is clean, unless Kennedy's got hands on it before it went through. He did.
Yeah.
Well done, Josh Kennedy. Outstretched arm, a fingertip on it. It'll be a rush behind from the Isaac Rankin quick kick inside 50, and the margin will be back out to 6 points.
It should be a rush behind, but you never know with these.
We'll just wait for confirmation. We'll head downstairs to Emma.
He's looking at Mills, but it's Kennedy's hand.
Clearly hit Kennedy's hand.
But he's looking at Mills in a minute, and now he's going to Kennedy.
Well, we've had mistakes today from the Gold Coast Suns and the Sydney Swans. Might we have an arc or a goal review blunder as well? Isaac Rankin's still not sure what's going on here.
Called it.
No, it is officially behind a kick out here for the Swans. Might just wait for an opportunity here and see what happens, because you never quite know what happens with these kick-outs as far as turnovers and everything else. Blakey plays on the on-defensive 50 toward the outer side. In the contest, Hayward down there with Butterick is paid the mark. Let's go boundary side, down to you, Emma Simpkin.
Yeah, about a minute to go in this quarter, and Peter Laddam's getting some treatment on the side by the team doctor. Good news is he hasn't been taken back to the rooms.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on Jack Lukosius as well, who went to the rooms. As to whether the Gold Coast Suns make their sub. Inside 50 they go. At the drop, overrun by Davies of the Suns. Florent puts the Swans back inside forward 50. It's a neat pass for McDonald, who takes the chest mark. 20 out in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, neat pass. You just need your better ball users getting their hands on the ball. You know, it just came off nothing really. It was a half chance for him. He picked it up nice and cleanly, and just the polish and composure to put your forward into the space to go onto it and jump, run onto it and take an easy mark. Difficult angle for Logan.
So Logan McDonald back in the side after his head knock a couple of weeks ago in Launceston. Important kick this for the Sydney Swans to level things up on the approach. The drop punt. Oh, the crowd loves that. Scores level for the first time since the opening 20 seconds. 8:11:59 apiece, approaching the half-hour mark here in quarter number 3 on Grandstand AFL.
Right on red time goal, Jason, late in the quarter for Gold Coast and for Sydney scoring. But God, it's a lovely, solid technique. It's, if you're going to teach a young fella to kick a goal, it's just so solid and so strong, and everything's straight about it, and he's followed through, and his standing legs hopping. It's just a beautiful technique, and yeah, watch out last quarter now.
Yeah, geez, game on.
Yeah.
We're all tied up. They've just edged their way back into it, the Swans, haven't they? Just edged their way back into it. Goal here, goal there. We are all tied up.
Big goal, Logan McDonald. What do you made of his game, Jason Staddington? He looks like he's moved pretty well inside 50.
He has. He's been fairly quiet. We haven't seen too much of him. I think the Suns' defence as a whole have been pretty solid at defending the Swans forwards. But, you know, all you ask for a forward is when you do get an opportunity to make the most of it. And he's done that there with a cracking finish from the boundary.
8:11:59 apiece. Time ticking down in the third quarter here at the SCG. And there is the siren as Callum Mills kicks it clear. And the Swans players get around each other. They've pegged back the margin. Gold Coast had the game on their own terms up until the start of the third quarter, and they've done it slowly, the Sydney Swans, to get it back to level going into the final term. We are set up for a cracker here at the SCG.
So right we are, Daniel Garb. Yeah, three-quarter time, so 59 apiece, the Swans and the Suns. Goal kickers in this game so far. Firstly for the home side, Franklin, Kennedy, McInerney, Parker. Hang on, let me just have a little look here and just make sure I've got all of these goal kickers, because there were a few more of them in that last quarter of footy. So, yes, Franklin, Kennedy, McDonald, McInerney, McLean, Papley, Parker and Warner. Meanwhile, for the Gold Coast Suns, 2 to Isaac Rankin, both in that third term there. Singles to Ainsworth, Chol, Lukosius, Miller, Swallow and Weller. Scores level at the final change here at the SCG. This is Grandstand AFL.
The aged care sector.
Cost of living.
Young people really care about climate change.
Keep across all the election news that matters to you.
With a lineup of some of the ABC's best podcasts on the ABC Listen app.
Get in-depth reporting from podcasts like Hack,
The Party Room,
and daily coverage from Australia Votes, hosted by Melissa Clark, James Glenday and me, David Spears, as we run through the issues that matter to voters.
All the latest election news that matters to you.
With the ABC Listen app.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL. On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Isaac Heaney, who does better on this occasion on the outer wing, marking in front of his face. Finds a man, though, at centre half forward in Papley. He's 55 metres out directly in front, the All-Australian from last season. Just fading a little bit, but he snuck it through, Tom Papley. That's a big goal. Here's Dana Rampe. It's a low ball inside 50 from him. He's got Warner. Marks it on the chest. Like David Warner in the slips, Chad Warner, to bring the margin back to a goal. He's done so.
Florent puts the Swans back inside forward 50. It's a neat pass for McDonald, who takes the chest mark, 20 out in the right forward pocket. On the approach, the drop punt. Oh, the crowd loves that. Scores level.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
It's 8:11:59 apiece. The Sydney Swans and the Gold Coast Suns. You're on Grandstand AFL. Brett Sprigg alongside Daniel Gard. Our experts Ty Connelly, Jason Saddington, Emma Simpkin on the boundary. Three-quarter time also at the MCG, where Richmond leads Collingwood 13-10-88 to the Magpies 8-11-59, and Tom Lynch has 5 goals. He had all those goals inside the first half there. There are many twists and turns still to come in this game, including Jack Lukosius potentially being subbed out. He had issues with his right leg in that third term. Let's get the thoughts of Jason Saddington and Ty Connelly on Grandstand AFL.
We've seen Lukosius actually been back out there warming up, doing a bit of change of direction, so hopefully he is fine from Gold Coast point of view. If Gold Coast could just be a little bit cleaner with their forward entries, Tig, they probably could have blown that game open a little bit more. Instead of being tied up, they could have still had a nice little 2 or 3 goal lead. Just a little bit wasteful going inside 50, which has probably been story of the day, almost story of the season for the Suns. But the Swans just edged their way back without playing pretty footy as such, but they just kept grinding away. Mills started to get his hands on the footy. He had a quiet first half. He's up to 18 possessions, which they need. Mills getting his hands on the footy. And getting it forward where obviously Papley started to get involved, get a bit of energy into the game for them. And McDonald had that lovely finish. So we're well and truly set for a great last quarter. It's just who's going to make the most of their opportunities here, I think, with their ball use and going forward. Yeah,
that's spot on, Jason. I think Sydney started to get their hands around the source, and certainly the centre clearances they got their hands, and then obviously the quality forward from, and Papley certainly was an energetic forward. Mills was the one for mine really in that third quarter that just got his hands dirty, got the game going forward. But it looked like at one stage they went 23 points up, Gold Coast, and we were saying if they kicked another one, 29 points. Sydney really did it with ease. They've pulled back to a draw with in the scoreboard with ease, really. It hasn't been an avalanche or anything like that. It's just happened at ease from. That's probably the concern from Gold Coast perspective. Just get back to work around the ball, Gold Coast, and get your front half football going and get the ball in there, keep it in there, and finish. Be effective with your. We saw a passage there where Witts got his hands in the ball, and they've just not taken the opportunity. You've got to take them away from home. And certainly you take a couple of opportunities early in the quarter. This is the Gold Coast. Sydney will have to come back at them. Sydney kicked the first couple here.
Yep.
They could open the gates. I just have a feeling on it as far as can the midfield of Gold Coast keep going now when Mills has got his energy up and about.
4 goals to 1 that third term. Daniel Garb, a few numbers for three-quarter time.
Callum Mills, as you said, boys, a big third quarter from him, up to 18 disposals now. Blakey has 18 as well, and Lloyd the same number for the Swans. For the Suns, Braden Fiorini leads all possession getters on the ground with 25. Brandon Ellis, with 20 as well. He's been excellent from the start of this game. David Swallow has 18, and Connor Butterick, who's been really impressive in defence, has 16 for Gold Coast.
Bear in mind, the Sydney Swans haven't led at any stage today, so the opportunity may be there for them early in this final term. Scores level, 8-11-59 apiece. What does the last quarter have in store for us here on Grandstand AFL? Let's find out. Laddams against Witts. To get us back underway, Witts taps it down here. Rowell follows up here, gets away from Laddams, shares a hand pass back to Witts. Tumbled kick works out okay for Ainsworth, just forward of the centre circles. Can they get the first foray forward here, the Gold Coast Suns, in this final quarter? Down the corridor it goes. Casbolt leads up from full forward and clunks it. 30 out directly in front.
There's a massive hole inside 50 there for the Suns. As I think a bit of a nice little block in there from one of his teammates to open up a bit of space. Whether the Swans midfield were a little bit napping and left some of the leading lanes open, but a good patient use by the Suns to wait for that opportunity. Casbolt, strong lead.
Just the one behind so far for Levi Casbolt today. Again, that's a high ball drop, high kick as well. The desired result, the Suns have the first of the final term. Go back out to a 6-point lead. 9-11-65, I beg your pardon. The Sydney Swans 8-11-59 inside the opening 70 seconds of this final quarter on Grandstand AFL.
How quiet is it? You can hear a penny drop out there now. You talk about the crowd, getting the crowd involved. It was a lovely block. I think it was Mabio, the key forward, running back into the forward line to put on a block on Tommy McCartan, and it's happened a few times with Sydney's defenders actually this year, where they've just been tracking 1v1, where the midfielders are coming back and opposition forwards coming back towards their goal, laying a block on the opposition defender, and it's worked well. We saw a few teams do this tactic against Sydney, but and nicely finished. Well done, Gold Coast.
Levi Casbolt with 17 goals for the season. Mabio Chol has 14, but at the end of last season we thought perhaps Levi Casbolt's career was over. Left Carlton, looked as if he might retire. He is offering plenty for the Suns in attack, who lead by a goal here at the start of the fourth quarter over the Swans at the SCG.
Emma, I think there is some news from the Gold Coast bench downstairs.
Yeah, Darcy McPherson, the medical sub, is out there. Lukosius is out. He's got ice on that right knee that we were talking about.
Ellis, Miller, work it inside 50, and it's marked by Ainsworth. Haven't the Suns started this last quarter ever so well? Ainsworth diving to his right is marked directly in front, but he's 50 metres out.
It's Witts is the one to get his hands in the centre bounces and got it forward. Raul got on the ground ball, giving another stoppage, but Laddams hasn't been great since he's gone off with that injury in the contest work, and Witts is taking advantage, as is Gold Coast going forward.
They've won every clearance so far this quarter.
Excellent work by Miller, Ellis and Rao just to work that forward under duress, and now Ainsworth strikes it from the paint. Has he got the distance? It's not going to quite get there, and Paddy McCartan takes a mark uncontested. Really, we've sung the praises of Levi Casbolt. He should have at least challenged him in the goal square there for the Swans, who trail by 6 points here at the SCG.
Paddy McCartan's lookalike Heath Grundy in the crowd, of course, today as well as part of that 2012 Premiership side.
Bit dusty this morning, Reg was. I was with our kids playing ice kick football in Maroubra Saints, and surprised to see him there at 8 a.m.
Rampy wobbles at the on-defensive, he's straight down the throat of Swallow. He marks 52 out, goes inside 50 now for McPherson.
Neat finish, to say the least. They have to start finishing if they're going to obviously win the game. State the obvious, but...
So Darcy McPherson, the sub, in for Jack Lukosius, subbed out with a knee injury.
First kick, is it? First touch?
Would be, yep. First time we've seen him. So he's 45. He'll kick from just on the opponent 50. Slight angle to the right. To extend the Gold Coast Suns lead. Long one up here for Darcy McPherson. Connects from just inside 50. Alongside the man on the mark, it goes high toward the pocket. Spoiled away by the Swans in defence. Out the drop, Rao has Mills for company. Still has the footy. Feeds it out wide here for Holman in the pocket. Florent goes with him. And running out of space down there is Ainsworth. Will throw it back in. 20 around from the Gold Coast Suns goal. Randwick end. It's they who lead by 6 points. 4.5 played final term.
It's been a hallmark of their game this season, the Suns, and that is keeping the ball inside, attacking 50. They've done it again today. Laddams wins front position here. Now the Swans can get rid of it. Goulden throws it on the boot. Will Powell and Heaney, that's been an interesting matchup as well. Perhaps Powell with the honours so far. They see it over the boundary line, just outside attacking 50 for the Suns.
Yeah, you're spot on, Garby, because I think they've struggled with where to put Isaac, with Logan and Franklin and Papley in there.
Laddams eases Witts out of the ruck contest and then handballs it forward. Butterick led his teammate to the footy though. Handballed it free. Calls for deliberate. The Swans won't get it. We'll have another boundary throw in about 4 metres forward from where the last one was. Still in attack for Gold Coast.
Umpire tosses it back in. Still in bright sunshine on the outer side of the ground. Witts down to Mills. Just chucks it out. The umpire's going to call in here for a throw.
Raul's had a big few minutes around the ball. He's been strong. He's been clean.
It was Rail's pressure to affect the incorrect disposal. Weller goes inside forward 50 here. They converge up in front. Tom McCartan spills the mark in defence. Lloyd's kick smothered. Miller goes again. Snaps from 25 out. Curls it around a little too much. And misses. So extends the Gold Coast lead by just one. It's 7 points all up. 9-12 plays 8-11. 6 gone. Final quarter on Grandstand AFL.
Just creating these opportunities again, the Suns. Can they take advantage of it?
They're putting a lot of pressure on. Lloyd goes short to the back pocket and finds Errol Goulden. Sydney trailing by 7 points here at the SCG. This would be a big contender for upset of the season if the Suns can hold on. Goulden up to the wing. Over the pack. Heaney's there. Well done by Butterick. Heaney puts the tackle on him. We'll have a ball up on the outer wing. Isaac Heaney just the 9 disposals so far, struggling to get in the game. The man he's wrapped up there, Connor Butterick, with 17 possessions and 9 marks.
We've got 6 minutes in and the Swans haven't got the ball in their front half of the field once.
Goulden works a hand pass back to Blakey, and now Florence slips a tackle here, dispossessed. McPherson floats it out wide in the pocket for Chol. He can work a hand pass further on here. Tom McCartan, the last line though, mops up. Holm was trying to chase it and get there, but Tom McCartan knocks it over through a rush behind.
I've never seen a team butcher the ball as much when they look like they're going to have a certain goal as in the Gold Coast have today.
That's been their season.
Oh, it's Stewie must be so frustrating.
8 points is the Gold Coast lead.
Probably should have had a shot there, Marbia Chol. Gold Coast to 9-13-67. Sydney 8-11-59. Lloyd plays on now, goes to the contest, and Hayward takes a strong mark. Now a chance for Sydney to get going forward. Hayward, dangerous kick. Franklin did well to gather it though. It's centre half back. Callum Mills has 4 Suns around him. Goes back to Franklin, who's turned it over now. Turned it over to Ballard at right half forward for Gold Coast. Again, excellent forward pressure from the Suns. Ballard looks for Chol and Casbolt. Chol cuts across, got hands to it. It's inside 50 for Gold Coast. There's a whistle on the play. We'll have a free kick. It's a relieving one for Sydney. It'll go the way of Nick Blakey against Marbia Chol.
Meanwhile, at the MCG, Richmond appear home there. 42 points over the Pies midway through the final quarter. Got the tight one here at the SCG. 8 points the way of the Gold Coast Suns. Which team wants it more? That's the question.
It's a bit like that. It is a bit like that. Which one wants to actually have the nerve to go on this kick here, even take the game on? Come, let's see who wants to take the risk and wants to win it.
So Blakey from the free kick in the left back pocket. Pops it long beyond defensive 50. Up goes McLean in from the side as well in there. With Logan McDonald. It goes back inside 50 here for the Gold Coast Suns. Out of bounds on the full that time from the boot of Charlie Ballard. So a Swans ball. Back with Blakey in the left back pocket where we were a short time ago.
It's really got that feel of if the Suns want to win it, they can win it. And the Swans are almost going to say, well, if you don't win it, we might as well have it. But it's the Suns' game there to win.
It's a lack of belief in the way they can go about winning a game of football. It's what's going to stop them here, I feel.
The Swans can't get it forward of centre at the moment, though, and Jared Witts has stopped them doing so again. But now he's been caught holding the ball. Josh Kennedy put a tackle on him. The umpire says to Jared Witts, you could have got rid of that if you really wanted to. You were happy to lie on top of it. So Josh Kennedy with a big tackle. Pops it to half forward for Sydney. Now they get forward of centre. Coming across is McLean. Affects the contest. Ronk was at the base of the pack. McDonald and Hayward. Well done by Farah to get involved there. Get his hands on the ball. It was a big hit on Pete Laddams, but he got in lower and was able to trap the footy in defensive 50 for Gold Coast.
It was a great ground ball. He's getting up off the ground now, bottom of the pack, but it was certainly a strong ground ball for Farah.
Ball in the air. One out the back here for Ellis. The Suns can go forward. High ball toward the wing. Paddy McCartan says thank you. He spills on the second grab. On the second bite. Lloyd back to Florent. Now Paddy McCartan. Standing start. Nurse a kick up the line here for Laddams. Just forward of halfway. Can they make this little surge count? Did he step off the mark? Is that what they're asking here?
I think he didn't go back far enough.
Davies. Hand pass off to Campbell. Loads up inside forward 50. Up in front here, Witts shares it away here, and now they can clear through Lemons back to the commentary wing where Campbell sees it out of bounds for a throw-in. So I'll throw it back in here in the shadows of the western side of the SCG. The Gold Coast Suns lead by 8 points. 10 minutes played, final term.
Need to reset here. Gold Coast forwards are very high. looking a bit tired, Gold Coast, so they need to reset and get their structure right. Tommy McCartan's back behind the ball.
Loving this ruck battle between Witts and Laddams. Witts has been a soldier for Gold Coast today, the co-captain. He plucked that out of the air, was wrapped up though in a tackle. Now Laddams tries to reach over the top, and he's given away a free kick for high as a result on Witts.
Yeah, he's the one who's going to win the game, Witts. Keep getting the contest, getting the first use of their midfielders.
Witts goes to half forward and finds Nick Holman. Has Chol and Casbolt deep in attack, the big targets. Chol has front position. Casbolt comes in from the side now, splits that contest open. He's hit Paddy McCartan hard. He's struggling to get to his feet. Here's Blake. He holds the ball up to try get the handball free. Mills is wrapped up by Ainsworth. Paddy McCartan is sore. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to be his head that's the issue, though. It's his backside that he's holding. So we'll have a ball up inside 50 for the Suns, who lead by 8 points.
I think it's his gluteus maximus.
Big Casbolt knee.
Swallow had it stolen away by Lloyd. Shares it with Parker. High ball up and under it goes. McDonald had Ballard for company. At ground level here, Miller for the Gold Coast Sun. Tumbles it back inside forward 50. Back with the flight, Paddy McCartan spoils. This might work out okay for Marvy or Chol. Tom McCartan gives chase. Ainsworth takes on Tom McCartan. Wrapped up in the pocket. The umpire will ball it up. 15 away from the Gold Coast Suns goal. Randwick end. It's the Suns who lead by 8 points. 9-13 plays 8-11.
Tuke Miller's the one. He's getting his hands on the ball. Dangerous for Gold Coast now, and he's sniffing around the ball here.
Laddams gets it free from the ball up inside defensive 50, but he's put it up in a dangerous area. There are Suns all around this. One of them is Witts. Puts the handball on the ground. A chance for Holman to gather. Snaps on his left. It's floating towards goal. It's across the face, though. Through for another behind. The Gold Coast Suns lead stretches out to 9 points.
You can just see it, can't you? Sydney gone on kicking 2 sharp goals like that. Game over.
It's what's happened all game.
Yeah, you can just see it. They haven't deserved it.
No, not at all.
Sydney, that is.
No, not at all.
Suns by 9. Jake Lloyd to kick out here. Choosing the sunny side of the SCG. Has a second, now a third bounce out of the kick out. Beyond defensive 50, he runs himself unmolested. Up the outer side he goes, and Butterick takes a strong grab just behind the wing on the eastern side of the SCG. So Butterick will now look to switch across the half-back line. Ballard marks at centre half-back. 9 points is the Gold Coast lead. Ballard a short ball to Farah on the back point of the square. Called to play on now. Has to get around Chad Warner. Does so. They'll converge up just forward of the wing. Witts under pressure from Laddams. Couldn't bring the mark down. Miller evades Laddams' tackle. Falls to Callum Mills. He can kick up the line now and into space for the Sydney Swans.
Back there is Ballard for the Suns, who watches it closely. Kicks to half forward now, and he finds Jared Witts. It was an easy target, but he spotted him up. Handball inboard to Ellis. Now he's coughed it up, though, at half forward for Gold Coast. Buddy Franklin's back there, trying to get into the game for the Swans. Florent does well to get around a would-be tackler. Has a couple of bounces in the middle of the SCG. It's an open 50. Warner's there. Gathers it on the second attempt. Chad Warner snaps on goal. Hits the post. One bounce and into the post from Chad Warner. Quick transition from the Swans. Only results in the behind. Margin back to 8 points.
Yeah, we've been screaming the plaudits of Brandon Ellis. You know, that's a silly handball and that turnover to Franklin. We just get the ball in forward and play that front half territory.
Crowd, by the way, 20,420 this afternoon.
It's a poor crowd, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what you expect for Saturday, Arvo. The Gold Coast Suns don't tend to bring a big crowd like a Melbourne side would, or obviously a Derby, something like that. But the Suns have it beyond defensive 50. Rowbottom collides with Farah in the air. They bring it away here to Suns. The kick will come now to Rankin. True centre wing commentary side. Gold Coast leads by 8. The Sydney Swans haven't led all day. Scores a level at three-quarter time. Up the line they go. Again, they converge. And now Tom McCartan, a little shove. Legally, though, says the umpire. So he'll have it. Paid the mark. Comes across here. Dicey kick. Scholl coming across McLean. Gets around Rowbottom. Shares it back to Fiorini. High ball inside forward 50 here. Paddy McCartan, the only one back there. Nice communication it was in the end from brother Tom. And he'll come up the line now for Florent.
Florent, the handball inside defensive 50 to Rampy. He sweeps it out wide for Goulden, who chips it over the top and finds another one of these Swans young guns in McInerney. They trail by 8 points. Plays on now, does McInerney on the outer wing. To half forward he goes over the head of Heaney. who was affected in the contest by Jai Farah, and it's out for a boundary throw-in just outside attacking 50 for Sydney.
They couldn't be any more on top at the moment at Gold Coast. They're doing pretty much everything right other than just that finishing inside 50. We're still at an 8-point ball game.
McLean slaps it forward. Back there is Powell for the Suns. Puts it on the boot. Works it up to the wing. McPherson the subs there with Rampy. Rampy manages to win it off McPherson, but he is corralled out. We'll have a boundary throw in. The Suns leading by 8 points, and time is starting to tick down in this last quarter. It's getting very nervy for the Swans now.
16 gone, final term. Gold Coast by 8. Back in it comes. McLean down to Heaney. Nice work away from the stoppage. Handball to Jake Lloyd. He can kick for distance up the other side. A little too deep for Farah. Here's Buddy, outnumbered there by the Suns defenders. Goes again, does Franklin. Off half forward, picked up by Rankin. He's taken high by Haywood. Freaky gets centre half back here for the Gold Coast Suns.
Just laughing because he gave him a bit afterwards. Rankin is in the face of Haywood. I love it.
Suns by 8. The kick comes to the wing here. Rampy makes a contest on McPherson. Down to Ellis though for the Suns. His kick up the line is a nice one here for Ainsworth, who tumbles to the ground just forward of the wing. And again, they'll go forward the Gold Coast.
It's a nice kick. He's on his left. It's favoured side. It just gives him time to reset because the forwards are out of position. It gives him a bit of time to hold on to the ball or go long down the line, keep the ball in the front half and probably get a stoppage or out of bounds for a throw-in to help him reset here.
Strong mark by Ainsworth. It's a feature of his game as a small forward. Up to 16 disposals now, and he works it up. Darcy McPherson, the sub, on for Jack Lukosius, who's off with a knee problem. From 60 metres out, McPherson sends the Suns deep inside 50. Casbolt's there, cutting across. Well, though, is Josh Kennedy. The veteran read that superbly in the air. And now plays on. He's under pressure. It's a left half back. He looks for Paddy McCartan. He can't quite take the mark. Down to Warner.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Wrapped up by 3 Suns, McPherson, Ellis and Farah, and he's caught holding the ball. Gold Coast win it back in attack.
So McPherson to take Gold Coast free kick from just forward of the wing. 8 points is their buffer on the Sydney Swans here at the SCG. McPherson loads up inside 50 in the pocket. Going up Casbolt. Ball from behind McLean. Up the drop. Warner here for the Swans. Going to get in space. He's heaped over the boundary line by Rankin. Great tackle. And we'll throw it back in. 70 around from Gold Coast goal. Bit of afters here as well.
Yeah, Warner won't take a step back from Rankin here. The two boys are going at each other.
Rampy had to drag Isaac Rankin off Chad Warner.
I reckon Rankin's slapped Rampy in the face. Going back there.
9:14 plays 8-12. The Gold Coast Suns by 8 points. The umpire tosses it back in. Casbolt doing the right work here for the Suns. Out to Ellis. Wrapped up by Warner straight away. The umpire will say, let's ball it up. Oregon, he had Pryor.
Yeah, he had the chance to get rid of it. Brandon Ellis, he's very lucky. Suns by 8 points. There's intensity in this football game now. Here's Warner trying to break free of the Davies tackle. He does, but he turns it over to Swallow, who snaps it towards attacking 50. McPherson with front position, just eases it down to Roses. Has support in Swallow. They go backwards, the Suns. But Roses gets it back on his left. He hasn't fully connected with that. To centre half forward, the ball goes. Watching it closely was Powell. Here's Blakey for Sydney and chips it into a dangerous area for McInerney, but Farah was able to punch it clear. And now it's marked back there by McLean of the Swans.
Who wants to win it? It's so evident.
And McLean comes wide for Goulden. On defensive 50 here. Around weekend of the SCG. On the 45, he finds Florin. He's kicks a turnover as well, straight to Touk Miller.
They've got one out. If you go quick up, too slow, but probably not a bad option with 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes.
Suns by 8 points.
Miller has the lead of Fiorini and finds him. He's up to 27 disposals now on his left. He goes out wider and finds McPherson, who's been active since coming on as a sub. Chips it over the top for Brandon Ellis, who watched it closely, had a couple of bites on it, failed to mark it inside 50. Wrapped up now by Warner, not too far away from the boundary line in the right forward pocket for Gold Coast, who still lead by 8 points.
Big moment.
Well, at least they got a stoppage this time. Gold Coast has gone inside 50. It's been going in, coming out, going in, coming out. At least they get a chance here.
The ball in the air. McLean contests the ruck against Witts. At the drop, Josh Kennedy. Squeeze out a hand pass here. Campbell runs out of the room. We'll throw it back in. 45 around from the Gold Coast goal. So we're about to hit time on this final term.
Especially we got Jared Witts winning clearly the ruck work. You got Rankin sniffing around.
He's got his hands up here, Rankin. I'm looking at it. He's trying to connect with Witts, and Braden Campbell's all over him at the stoppage. Touk Miller's trying to lay a block for Rankin as we're watching it. He does block if the throw is too slow.
Back in it comes. Witts in front. Taps it in for Robert on the Swans. Spins out of a tackle of Rankin beyond defensive 50. Parker, strong grab at half back for Sydney.
Parker wants to play on quickly, goes to centre half forward, but they've turned it over again. Don't know where he was looking to there, Luke Parker. Jai Farah led his man to the football in Hayward and marked easily, really.
To be a travesty if they lose this Gold Coast. I reckon they've had one inside 50s, have they, Sydney?
Yep.
In this quarter of football. They could keep this ball inside their forward half for the next 5 minutes.
Is the sun affecting the Swans, perhaps? They can't seem to hit up a target in attack.
I think it's panic.
So Chol, they go at half forward. Rouse there. Breaks free. Now Fiorini snaps it inside 50. Rankin watches it closely. He's happy to just guide that over for a boundary throw and inside 50 for the Suns, who lead by 8 points, and we are into time on in the final term. 21 minutes gone.
So it's 8 points. There's still plenty of time. Swans just seem like they're going to be panicky too early.
No goals. Just the one, in fact, in this final term for the Gold Coast Sun. 1 goal to nothing. Rankin away from the stoppage. Taken high by Mills, and he'll win the free kick.
That's what he does. Spriggy, that's what he does. He just draws a panic to you as a defender, as a midfielder. They were trying to block from the previous stoppage, and he got through that stoppage and got a block, and it was Mills that ended up picking him up. And when you've got a dangerous forward feasibility like that, it just draws the free.
So you'd think, based on scoring patterns, this would just about be the sealer, I reckon. Not that it's beyond the Sydney Swans. Well,
it's just where the game's gone.
A goal here. It's hard to see the Swans getting 3 goals at this point. If you can make the margin 14 points, Rankin for his third of the afternoon just shaves the wrong side of the goal post. So 9 points the Gold Coast lead, 22 minutes gone, fourth and final quarter at the SCG.
How are the Swans still in this game?
Yeah.
Gold Coast should have put them to bed. Blakey now chops off a kick inside the centre of the SCG. It's an attacking ball and he finds Heaney. But he's turned it over now, yet again. Ainsworth, the chance to hurt the Swans.
Huge block.
Heaney makes up for his mistake. Excellent smother, and was able to gather it as well. Now they've got men on the overlap, and McInerney can't pick it up on the wing. He's got 3 Suns around him. Now he gets free. Can't connect quickly though. Ball on Burton, so Gold Coast win it back. But they've turned it over as well. Warner, centre half forward, has Franklin deep in attack in the square. Buddy! Good punch by Collins. Excellent spoil.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Staggering.
Turnover City. 23 minutes gone in the last quarter. The Suns maintain a 9-point lead.
They're not just under pressure, they're bad turnovers, both teams.
That was like Heaney's block there. That was a certain goal. Maybe Achol was out.
8-point lead the Suns' way. Beyond defensive 50 they come. Laddams goes up in the pack. He takes McPherson high. He ducked into it. The umpire's all over it, so he says holding the ball.
Oh, big call.
That's a huge call. McPherson had first hands to it.
Clear duck.
He did duck into the tackle. They go inside 50. Blakey to Franklin. Again, Collins gets up in front. Franklin in the pocket now. Tumbles it toward the big sticks. Haney tries to parry it to advantage. More blue and gold jumpers in there. Powell is wrapped up as well. Miller can provide some support. They can turn a kick beyond defensive 50 through Witts. Chol slaps it out of bounds. It's going to be taken here. It was
free kick.
Free kick, Chol, given away by Tom McCartan.
Reset, gives them an opportunity to reset, get the forward, slow play, down the line. You can see Casbo's calling for it. He'll either mark it.
Gold Coast by 8 points, 24 gone final term.
Massive upset looming at the SCG. Time ticking down in the last quarter. Chol to half forward and Casbold's marked it.
And take another one. Slow down here. Go slow into the pocket.
Casbold at half forward. I tell you what, they're an unfashionable combination. But they are building as a lovely one. Casbolt and Chol in attack for the Suns. He goes to the pocket now. Well done by McInerney to mark it in front of Holman. Swan's not done with yet. Into the centre of the SCG he goes. Farah can't mark, but he's there. Handball over the top looking for Mills, who just slapped it forward, but it favours Will Powell of Gold Coast. Picks it up and has a bounce on the wing.
Looks at the options. Tumbles it up the line now for McPherson. He beats Paddy McCartan. Wrapped up here by Rampy. Footy comes loose here for Paddy McCartan. Comes back inboard now. Little too wide of Chad Warner. Sits up for Ballard. Shares a hand pass to Rowell. Slips the Hayward tackle. Goes by a hand here. Swallow running by. Loses the football as well. Goulden can get there as well. He's beaten though to it by Weller. Ballard can he tunnel it forward as well. Back to Swallow. Now Ellis just hacks it forward inside 50 here for the Gold Coast Suns. Chol and Paddy McCartan at the drop here. Holman wrapped up by Rampy and also Lloyd. Umpire lets them play. 25 out from Gold Coast goal. Hand pass comes to Casbolt, who tumbles it to the line, and it's through. Levi Casbolt may have just iced the game for the Gold Coast Suns.
Ricky.
14 points is the Suns' lead. 25 and a half minutes played.
What a call, Spriggy. I'll take a breath. That was incredible. Turnover after turnover
and
after
McPherson
turnover.
it was in that congestion and worked the hand pass out to Casbolt, the sub McPherson, and that could be it for the Gold Coast Suns.
He's got his hands on the ball a lot, actually, McPherson. You're right. And I thought he was going to be called for holding the ball, and he was able to get his hands out to get the handball off on the release. But that's it now, you think. But strange things have happened since centre bounces go forward at the SCG, but they haven't deserved it, Sydney. Not one bit.
You looked at the reaction of the Sydney Swans players after that ball went through from Levi Casbolt. It was hands onto knees, slouched over. They know this one is just about gone. They trail by 14 points late in the final quarter. Still time for a miracle. They need to get it going forward off this centre bounce. Rouse in there, fighting hard for Gold Coast, as he's done all day. The Swans do win it back, though. They find Florent. He's inside the centre of the SCG. Into attack he goes. They need a mark inside 50. Heaney cuts across, gets two hands on it, but can't bring it down. And the Gold Coast Suns, desperately led by Will Powell, trap it inside defensive 50. 10-15, 75 Gold Coast. 8-13, 61 the Swans. It's looming as a special victory for the Suns. The Kennedy snaps it clear from the stoppage. It's out of bounds on the full. And now you would think it is just about done.
They would need 3 goals of Sydney Swans in the space of just over a minute.
Yeah.
They've only had no goals in this final quarter, only 8 for the game.
Barely a shot on goal too, I'd say.
They've just choked the Swans' opportunity in this final term, the Gold Coast Suns. The Swans haven't helped their own cause as it goes toward the outer side. Big pack mark taken by Casbolt. He was the hero with that goal a short time ago. And they control things here to the tune of 14 points, the Gold Coast Suns.
He's been exceptional, Casbolt.
Up the eastern wing, Witts, pressure from Laddams in behind. Now Tuke Miller runs around here. Kicks to find McPherson, the mark taken just forward of halfway.
He's been excellent as the sub. We mentioned Casbolt and Chol. What about the game of Connor Butterick and Sam Collins in defence for Gold Coast? Ballard as well has been excellent. This man, Brandon Ellis, with the football in his hands at the moment. He's up to 26 disposals. Fiorini's had 30. Let's not forget Noah Anderson was a late out before the game. David Swallow up to 24 disposals now. So many contributors for the Suns.
Jared Witt's been big too.
Yeah.
Swallow pops it up to half forward. Witts is there. They're happy to let this ball hit the ground. And there is the siren. Oh boy, a boil over in Sydney. The Suns have come to the SCG and stunned the Swans. Winners by 14 points.
We are the Sons of the Gold Coast sky. We are one in the red, gold and blue. We are the mighty Gold Coast Suns. We play to win the flag for you. Fight, fight, fight till we hold up the flag. Run, run, run all the way. Hey! We are the Sons of the Gold Coast sky. We're the team who never say die. Hey!
In the end, the hero Levi Casbolt kicked 2 goals. So too Isaac Rankin. Singles to Ainsworth, Scholl, Lukosius, Miller, Swallow and Weller. Meanwhile, for the Sydney Swans, all singles to Franklin, Kennedy, McDonald, McInerney, McLean, Papley, Parker and Warner. It was level at three-quarter time and the Gold Coast Suns led all day, hanging on by 14 points.
We are the Sons of the Gold Coast sky. We are one in the red, gold and blue. We are the mighty Gold Coast Suns. We play to win the flag for you. Fight, fight, fight till we hold up the flag. Run, run, run all the way. Hey!
A massive sigh of relief for Stuart Dew and his men. It breaks a 3-game losing run. A spirited effort here at the SCG, and that's now back-to-back home losses for the Sydney Swans here as well. While we take a breath, let's get the thoughts of Ty Connelly and Jason Saddington on Grandstand AFL.
Yeah, not surprised, are we? I'm not surprised just the way they play, the style of play that they've brought this year. They've been unlucky not to get the wins, but the way they play this front half football with the Gold Coast, that is, they've made extremely hard work of it. Clearly, they should have taken, if they'd taken their opportunities. They deserved every bit of this win, and it was almost, breaks my heart, I suppose, to say it from a Swans perspective, as far as that the Swans didn't want to win it, and they didn't have the hunger to win it, and didn't come today with a hunger that they needed to.
Based on what was at stake for
football.
them as well, and what trying to position themselves in that conversation, they're a long way based on what they fished up today.
That's right. In the last couple of weeks now, certainly it's been a reality call for what's going on. They were smacked around the ball. The midfield area was a huge concern, and they got on top a small bit in the third quarter to get them back into the game, but they were a lesson. It was a lesson around playing contested brand of football, and then late, the panic we talked about, and Jason called it during the game, the panic that they had with about 7 or 8 minutes to go, and they're only 8 points down, was turnover after turnover, and they're trying to pull the trigger on things that weren't there.
The Swans struggled to generate anything all day. Even the goals that they did kick to get back into it at three-quarter time were just almost off just a weight of numbers getting the ball in a few times. There was nothing special about it, but when you look through the Swans list, you couldn't say there was any players that really stood up. Paddy McCart was probably the only player you could give a pass mark. Mills in the third quarter, but he struggled for 3 quarters. I couldn't pick a good player for the Swans out there, nor did they generate any of the football they wanted to play, and nor did they win the ball around the contest, which is probably the most frustrating for John Longmire. But the Suns were plucky in the end, I guess. They did deserve to win the game, no doubt about that. It was their game to lose, and they did everything they could to not get over the line and actually get the win in the end, with the amount of ball that they had going in, but just couldn't score until Casbolt threw that one on the boot and got it through, which was just deserves in the end for the Suns to get the win. And they had some good players today. Obviously, Alice was pretty good in the midfield. Witsy was massive in the ruck. But the backs that we mentioned, like Ballard and Butterick and Collins, were all very good and did their job well. And we did talk about their some of their forwards and the unheralded ones a little bit. I thought Casbolt was outstanding in the amount of contests he made, and they were massive contests too. Like, they were big physical contests to bring the ball to ground and create a contest up forward. Chol is obviously dangerous at times, and he had his little moments where he got some shots on goal, which was great. Even that last quarter when the game's on the line a little bit, the sub McPherson had 8 possessions in that last quarter. It's a pretty good little cameo at the end to come in and make sure the Suns were doing enough and defending well enough was probably the key. The defence was fantastic all day, and that's what allowed them to keep the ball in their front half and get the win, which they deserved.
It's just the way the numbers football is. If you get enough of your teammates jumping on board, and when things are tough, and if you've got enough numbers playing average games, you're going to get over the line. Sydney had none. No. You talk about the way the numbers, their weight was just, it was far more that didn't come to play and to win that game and take the game on to win the game. Where the Gold Coast, you're just flicking it through the numbers. Mabior Chol, awesome. Brendan Ellis, Holman, Fioroni, Ainsworth, Ballard, Miller, Weller was okay, Matt Rowe, Rankin, Collins. Then that's without Witts, Casbolt, Butterick. McPherson comes on as an impact. That's a real even display of a team coming to an away game, and they've got a style and a game plan that can beat any team if they convert. If they can convert, and obviously if you throw Bing King into that mix, so they've got a clear style. It's very evident, and it's going to win them games of football. And I love the way what Dewey's done to them, and he's changed their style over the pre-season. They've worked hard on it, and they're getting the rewards. It's the bigger story is Sydney. The biggest story is the Swans for mine. I think the Suns were due to win a game the way they've been playing, but Swans have got bigger fish to fry as far as the season is concerned, and this could come back to haunt them.
And they've had an interesting few weeks. So obviously, bad result today, last weekend. The Lions are a good team, but
Hawthorn, not Melbourne. Previous
Hawthorn was only the last quarter.
That
they steamrolled the Hawks in the end. They were down all day. North, you say, so they're probably.
Are we over? Are we? Well, I'm expecting more from them than what they're performing and what they performed last year. Or they're still not quite ready for a top 4 spot on what we're seeing right now. You'd have to question it.
But looking at today, it's just their ball movement. They got nothing going. There was no run, there was no carry, there was no excitement, and that's been the difference in their game and the positive in their game the last couple of years. Is that fast ball movement, especially off half back, and they weren't able to do that today. Every time they did try and get the ball going forward, the Suns' positioning was fantastic. They just kept cutting it off, and I think the longer the game went, the less confidence they had. The forwards started to get a bit panicky and got out of position potentially, and their ball use, they just turned the ball over. The longer the game went, the worse it got.
So the Suns have now won 4 of their most recent 6 against the Sydney Swans, including the last 2 here at the SCG. So the Swans for now don't drop below 5th, but of course Carlton and St Kilda play tomorrow as well, so you'd expect they'll make up ground on them. Of course, Geelong to play the Giants up next at Monaco. We'll take you there for listeners on New South Wales News Radio as well. So they've also got an opportunity to overhaul the Sydney Swans with the same percentage there as well. The Gold Coast Suns, a massive win for them, 14 points. They hang on in the end as they're making their way down into the rooms. That's where we can find Emma Simpkin for us.
Yes, Brett, they're just making their way in now, and obviously there's going to be some celebrating as the staff start putting their hands together for this great team led in by the influential ruck.
Here's massive Jared Witts.
He's got a smile from ear to ear. It's almost as long as his legs, I'd have to say. The boys are certainly getting behind each other. A lot of high fives. A monumental moment for this team that have offered so much and delivered so little, but finally have shown what they can deliver against a lacklustre Sydney Swans today, and they're ready to sing the song.
Gusto, all right. I can
and
see
it was poor old Rory Thompson copped it in the middle, I can tell you that.
I was going to say, Emma, we'll get the votes from you, Ty, just in case we jag a quick interview from downstairs before we're off air in a few minutes' time. Your 3-2-1 votes in the Player of the Year.
Yeah, you look at Ellis, got his hands on a lot of the ball, and the midfielders Ferroni, but for mine it was more the keys than anything else that probably had the impact in the game from a Gold Coast point of view. I'm going to give 1 point to Casbolt. I thought early in the game he was competing really hard in the air, and he didn't get beaten against a team that loved to intercept. His ability to get their hands and get dirty and spoil and stop that ball being marked by the Sydney defence.
Hold that thought. Levi Casbolt is downstairs with you, Emma.
Levi, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
A great result. Obviously, the match was there for you guys to lose or win, and you got the result, obviously, you were all looking for.
Yeah, it was awesome. We knew Sydney would come. We knew we were going to be in for a fight, but it was good to respond in the last quarter and come away with the chocolates. Pretty
stressful week, though. A lot of pressure on this side.
Externally, yes, but internally we just stick to our processes and we know our best is good enough, and if we bring that on the weekend, then we know we'll be right.
I'm going to have to let Levi go because the team just going into the rooms to have a quick chat, so I'll have to leave him there. But certainly some great signs down here in the rooms for the Gold Coast Suns.
Well done, thanks, Emma. Yeah, nice to get an idea of what it means to him. He was the hero there in the end. Quickly,
great job. I was just talking about him. It was fantastic timing, Emma. Well done. Yeah, 1 point, 1 vote even to Levi Casbolt. 2 to Butterick. I think his intercept marks and his ability to stop Isaac Heaney forward the ball. And 3 votes goes to Witts. I think he'd 7 clearances, 37 hit-outs, and he's dominant in that last quarter. Certainly the first 5 or 6 minutes to get the ball into the front half, and his effectiveness with his hit-outs was a clear best on ground for mine. Had a lot of others that played quite well, in the game itself. I think numerous players that could have been there, but that 3 was Witts 3, Butterick 2 and Casbolt 1.
Meanwhile, the MCG Richmond hung on by 27 points against Collingwood, 17-11, 113 to 12-14, 86. So thank you to Emma Simpkin in the rooms, getting that reaction from the match winner there in Levi Casbolt. Thanks to you, Ty Connelly. and to Jason Saddington, as always, for your return. Thanks to, it's nice to have you both back here with us as well. Thank you to, as I said, Emma Simpkin downstairs, to our tech, Joel Cassim, and to Aaron Bryans back in the studio. To you, most importantly, for your company, what a win for the Gold Coast Suns by 14 points over the Sydney Swans in the end. If you're listening through local radio, ACT and Gold Coast, you're off to the NRL next. That's Manly and the West Tigers. The conclusion of that game coming up shortly. Queensland News Radio back to network programs, and of course Brisbane and West Coast to come later on for you. While New South Wales News Radio, you're off to the next AFL game. Manuka Oval, the Giants and the Cats in the nation's capital next.